Hey everyone, it's James, host and lead producer of the Weekly DADCast, streamed live at twitch.tv/weeklydadcast. Find more DADCast episodes alongside with DADCast After Dark on iTunes or go to weeklydadcast.podbean.com. If you have a question for us, email us at officialdadcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at officialdadcast. For our stream archives and other DADCast content, go to YouTube and search DADCast. Links to all of this and more in the description below. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Have a question? Email us at officialdadcast@gmail.com, and your question might be read on the air. Download the podcast at weeklydadcast.podbean.com. Follow us on Twitter at officialdadcast, and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/dadcastofficial. For our stream archive, search DADCast on YouTube and look for the red microphone. If you'd like to support the DADCast, feel free to drop us a tip on our Patreon page, patreon.com/dadcast. Thank you to all of our listeners for your continued support and viewership. Now let's get on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the DADCast. This time it's gonna be myself and Skylar. Say hello, Skylar.
Hey, it's me. I'm Skylar.
Yeah.
I'm here today.
George
Gracing
realized
you all with my presence.
he's gracing you with his presence. George is realized that Sarah Connor is not in this like specific year, that she already had the kid, so he went back further to take care of that. And James, to prove he isn't racist, went to North Sentinel Island to talk to the natives.
Yeah. Well, really, he just wanted to claim what was his.
Claim what was his. Extra points for you if this. Do you know about North Sentinel Island?
Not really, but I assume that's where like the reservation is.
No, so North Sentinel Island is off the coast of India. I don't recall like how far exactly, but it's under Indian jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's an island.
That's the Seminole reservation, right? That's where they are.
Seminole?
Like the Seminoles, because they're here.
No, I said India.
Like you mean like the nation of India?
Yes, the country India.
Oh, I thought it was like some bullshit that you said. Like it was in like, 'cause you know we have like Honeymoon Island and Hollywood Island or whatever near us. I thought it was a local thing. Oh no,
straight up India.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, hold on, you actually have a bit of echo on your part. I don't know if you can hear that or not hear that, but
I can't hear.
All right, well, I guess we'll move forward. So North Sentinel Island is something off the coast of India, and it's an island basically just filled with just natives that have never really communicated with modern civilization. And their whole deal is they are incredibly violent. They are super not cool with outsiders showing up. If you bring your boat too close to there, they'll start shooting arrows at you. The Indian government was like, yeah, if you go there, they'll probably kill you. So they passed like a law so you can't even go to the island. The only 2 points of contact I know about that with them is there was one point in time when there's a fishing boat that, like, because of a storm, got washed up too close. And they're like, all right, well, we'll deal with this later. And the Sentinelese came out to that boat and murdered the 2 of them in their sleep. And the other time was when, what happened? I think there was a tsunami out there, and they were like, oh boy, what happened to the population? Because it was a really bad tsunami. And a helicopter flew overhead just to see how many people were still there. And they were greeted instantly with bows and arrows and spears. So they were just a hyper-aggressive tribe that no one should go near. So yeah, James went there to prove he isn't racist, so we'll probably never see him again.
Or he'll come back a hardened warrior, wise beyond his years.
Even if it wasn't life-threatening, I doubt that would ever happen. But all right, with basic introduction to shit, we don't have any fan questions. But if you would like to send us a fan question, you could message us at officialdadcast@gmail.com and have your email read out on the air. So we'll start off with weeks. Mine was kind of big, so I'll actually let you go first.
Allegedly, we read emails.
Yes. I didn't have anything to add on to that, so I was just like, all right, cool.
Don't worry about it.
Are you eating something?
I'm not eating anything. Why?
You sure not eating salami
I don't
again?
have any salami with me today. I just had lunch, so I don't need to have my salami or my backup peanuts or my crackers with cheese.
I heard that. Oh, you have crackers with cheese, or you had that?
I had it once. Well, last time we did the After Dark cast. In the middle of the podcast, I went out to make myself a cocktail and also had some crackers and cheese. That's
fine. It's just in the background. Maybe it's just your beard scraping reality again. But I was like, is this motherfucker eating salami on podcast again?
No. Whenever I eat salami, I'm usually on push to talk.
Okay. All right. Well, first we'll start with weeks, and I'll let you do yours because mine had a lot going on.
My week was boring. I started school this week, so that's that's whatever. Aside from that, I did nothing besides went to the theater to go see The Night is Short, Walk On Girl in the theaters, which I've talked about on this podcast before because I saw it right after it came out in Japan. So go back, you want to hear my thoughts on that movie, go back and listen to like podcast number 1 or some shit, whichever one that was.
I don't remember which one, but I remember that you talked about the first 20 minutes of the movie. But later on we'll have just a full general talk about that, and I'll have questions about a series connected to that.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we're also talking about it because Claude just saw it, so we'll talk about it later. Yeah. Aside from that, I did nothing besides play Blaze Blue some more. That's still a video game that I play. But yeah, school shit happened, which is not exactly the most exciting thing in the world.
That's all for you?
That's all for me, yeah.
All right, too easy then. For mine, oh boy. So I'm not sure if you watched this, the Tyson Fury, Francesco Pianetta fight.
I was out that day. I had work, so I missed it. I remember people talking it up, and I was like, oh fuck. But I was not at home when that happened.
It was on Showtime's YouTube channel. I figured you might have checked it out later.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. Usually, because I know when HBO does their streams, they're never up on the YouTube channel after that point. It's only highlights. So I didn't think to check.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't HBO. It was Showtime on this one. So yeah, a boxing match for anyone listening. I will keep it very short. Boxing match with the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, and then just a bunch of hype and shenanigans going with the WBC heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder.
Okay, so who won? Because I don't even know who won.
Francesco Pianetta didn't do anything in that fight, so Tyson Fury won.
Well, Tyson Fury won? Okay.
Yeah, so it was...
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was pretty one-sided. I don't think Pianetta would have won any round. I mean, yeah, it did go to points. It was a 10-round fight. But Tyson Fury dominated that. Lost a lot of weight from his last comeback fight. Looks great. Deontay Wilder was there, starting shit from all the way from the weigh-in. There's some shit with Billy Joe Saunders, who, for people who don't know, is the middleweight champ, one of the middleweight champions from the UK. And there was an altercation between him and Deontay Wilder when he came into a restaurant with him to say hey. And Deontay Wilder was like, hey, didn't you call me a racist cock like months ago? And he just stood up and he's like double his height. So Billy Joe Saunders threw a piece of chicken at Wilder and sprinted out of the building like he was in Temple Run. Like, that shit was funny if you go back and watch that.
That sounds godlike.
But yeah, the two of them are hyping up a fight. They say it's basically done, and I was super excited until earlier today. I heard news that Tyson Fury is considering like he's having second thoughts over the fight. Because originally they said they were gonna announce it this week, which, like, I get it. He was on a 2-year layoff because he did cocaine and got super fat, and like he does have, he's still undefeated, but I'm pretty sure even I wouldn't have assumed he would have taken a fight with Wilder after 2 fights back against people who don't really matter too much. But yeah, so that's where that is. I've been practicing, and by practicing I mean getting my ass beat by Skylar in cross tag battle. Of our how many matches would you even say that we've done?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't counting. We've played for like a couple hours, a couple of times.
Yeah, I won like 3 or 4 matches before.
And also, I just had to pick random dudes because I didn't want to. Like, if I was playing my main team, it was gonna be rough on the.
Yeah, you did though. You did pick your main team a couple
Only
times.
like once. It was like once. Don't worry about it.
It was twice. There was the first time when you're like, all right, I'll find different people, and then the other time was like the next day we played. I'm like, really? You played it from 2 matches in a row. I was like, really? You're just gonna start off like this, like big dick style, for no reason?
Yeah, man. I had to set the mood for the day.
You had to remind me. Like, listen, man, I know you've been playing this since launch, and I just started playing again like 3 days ago.
I had to set the mood. It's very important.
And it also sucks when you find out the characters you like a lot are all like low tier. Like, god damn, like
Yeah,
I'll try to make it work, but
Poor Kanji.
he's my favorite. He got me into grapplers. I can't not. I have to play him. I will.
Surprisingly, Waldstein's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll
guess
play
that.
Wolfstein. I haven't put the time into him. Outside that, I've read the entirety of Dr. Stone, 71 chapters right now. Like it's been a long time since I found a manga series that made me like sit down and just burn through it like that. For anyone who doesn't know, basically the whole world, like everyone's encased in stone. All people, and I think it was sparrows, some specific type of bird. Or it's just everyone encased in stone. Everything else is fine, no issues, nothing out there. And then a couple of characters revive, and I'm not gonna like spoil everything about it, but it's super good stuff. Like basically caveman, we're back to caveman days, Stone Age, and the main character is a brilliant, like almost too brilliant anime level, brilliant scientist. And there's a dude who's just basically a pillar man as far as strength goes, and they are on opposing forces, and he's like, I want to bring back civilization, and the pillar man guy's like, no, the world is pure like this, there's no bombs or war, we can just live like that. And they're at odds, and it's just a series about one guy trying to bring science back, but also not to have his existence known to the fucking pillar man, Tsukasa. I highly recommend that one to you, Skylar. Like that, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about Dr. Stone, and I've seen some fucking sick art from it. Like, I saw some panel that had like a kaiju in it or some bullshit, and it made my pee really hard. So I'll check it out at some point.
Yes, it does that. It'll be at the end of the chapter, and it'll give you something, and they'll be like, hey, here's what we're making. Like there's a point where like they're like, we're gonna make a cellular phone, and like they show a picture of a cell phone, and they're like, wait, what? But then you actually see what it is. Like it still like functions like a cell phone, but it's not that. It's just a bunch of bullshit together that works. But like it's very in depth with how he makes stuff, and this doesn't feel like a pseudo smart type series. Holy shit, am I hearing an echo again? Okay, it went away.
That was why my brother came in, because he wanted to know what I wanted for dinner. Don't worry about it.
What did you want for dinner?
I didn't answer him. He just came.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't come across like just like pseudo smart, like it's like, oh, I'm making it work with like he's actually going through the process of everything. And on top of that, there's sometimes little notes at the bottom, like when he said he was making, I forgot what he was making. He was talking about how to make paper. Because they need paper for something, and he goes through everything, and then there's a little note at the bottom. It's like, hey kids, if you want to try this at home, instead of this and this, use baking soda. Like actually telling people how to do certain
how to
things.
do science? That's fucking sick.
Yeah, like it super comes across as someone who genuinely loves like science and how things work, like in relation to each other.
That's pretty cool.
My favorite is like
apparently
how
Love does that too. The visual novel series where it has like explains actual quantum mechanics to you.
Really?
Yeah, that's apparently, guys. There's someone who's in a Discord server I'm in that's playing through them, and he's like, "This shit is real." They're explaining actual quantum mechanics.
Oh, that's lovely. I love that.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll mention on Dr. Stone is like, oh god, there's so many parts where like things from the modern day will just change other people's opinion. Like, yeah, you do meet people out there who, I'm not going to say how, who were not stone, who were never turned to stone. So it's like they actually just grew up and lived in that world with no knowledge of the past, because the people who woke up from stone woke up like 3,000 years later, almost. So but then you do have people who are revived. And one of them is like, I could just tell the villain on you. Why would I side with you? I don't have any reason to. And the main character remembers him mentioning one line about like missing coal or something like that. And after this dude like gets his shit pushed in by something, the main character goes up to him and was like, hey, if I live, I can definitely make you a soda. It's like, oh, and that alone, just the ability to make a soda in the Stone Age is enough to make people question their morals and whose side they're on. Like,
That's
it's so
fucking,
good.
That's actually godlike.
It's so good.
I like that a lot.
Oh man, but yeah, Dr. Stone, I'd highly recommend to anyone. 71 chapters out right now. As far as if you wanted to like support it and collect volumes, volume 1 of it doesn't even come out till like October, I think. So you got a minute. And lastly, yesterday was my birthday. I spent it mostly relaxing. I had dinner with my family. My sister got me, like, because I've been talking about Godzilla more and more recently, because I've gotten super hyped over the upcoming King of the Monsters movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already planning on buying some of the movies. And I told my sister, like, here's just a couple of the Godzilla movies I was buying, or I wanted. Just buy me one of them and I'll be fine. And she bought me every one of the ones I mentioned.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty fucking sick. That's dedication. That's cool.
It is. I never knew this, but on the box of Shin Godzilla just hit my heart instantly. Where I've always just seen the cover of it because I have it on PlayStation, through there. But on the box at the bottom it says "A God Incarnate, a City Doomed." I'm like, God, that's so fucking good.
Yeah, I remember that from the first trailer. That was the first trailers. Have you ever seen it? The first trailer for that movie is amazing because it's phone camera footage of a person on the ground while Godzilla is coming into the city, and it's just like cuts of that with like the Evangelion white text on a black screen, and it's just people screaming and Godzilla noises, and it's so good. It's such a good trailer.
No. See, I avoided it because I was so hyped hearing about Shin Godzilla. I purposely stayed away from any trailer or anything related to it, so everything could be fresh. I am glad it's a trailer that has nothing to do with the movie, from what you make it sound like, because
oh yeah, it doesn't even show Godzilla in it.
Awesome.
You just hear him, and it's just people yelling and horrible noises and ominous text on the screen.
Oh, yeah. So last night, just to end the night off, because my girlfriend had only ever seen the '98 Godzilla movie, the American one. And she hated Godzilla because of that. I'm like, no, that's a bastardization. Don't even pay attention to that. No one considers that one of them. And she's willing to watch them with me, she said before, and I got the collection. So the very first one I had her watch was the very first Godzilla movie I watched as a kid, which is Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a good one. The human bits still don't hold up well. The monster bits still hold up super. Dude, it's so stupid. It's so bad. The android, seeing him run at super speed, I'm like, man, I love how cheesy this looks.
It's so cheesy. It's so much fun. The human stuff has never. I don't think it even aged well when it came out. It was already fucking cheesy and goofy as shit. It's so good.
Oh man, and then I was talking to her about it. I was like, here's part of why I loved it so much. Because the idea is boy, we have this monster that's a problem. People from the future come. We can take care of that problem. Insert monster number 2 when they quote unquote solve the problem. They're like, we need monster number 1 back. Oh, something happened and he's just alive. He's just not that big. He eats nuclear submarine. He's bigger and madder than he was before. Monster 1 beats the Monster 2. Monster 1 goes on rampage. Everyone's like, holy shit, this is a problem. New plan is to resurrect Monster 2 to stop Monster 1. It's constant back and forth. There's not really winning. Mecha King Ghidorah still gets his shit pushed in. He's just only able to work because he can he falls on top of all Godzilla while crashing into the water, and then Godzilla just stands up roaring. It's she was confused. I was like, yeah, that's how this works. You never really beat Godzilla except for 4 of the movies. You just kind of have to bother him enough to leave or make him go somewhere else.
Yeah, make him go. He usually always retreats to Monster Island to rest. or some shit. It's always what it is. Like he went back into the ocean to rest and eat some more fucking nuclear waste or some bullshit.
Yeah, like the beginning of this one was like, here's Godzilla here. He's just been chilling out here ever since Biollante, which just means Biollante made him tired and he went to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I love it. But yeah, that's about it for my week. So with that, we'll go into the weekly waifu cast right now, where you're still on My Hero Academia, going down all the girls and judging how viable they are. And this week, we're gonna talk about Ragdoll.
Okay, low-key, Ragdoll is my favorite member of the Wild Wild Pussycats.
That should be Taiki. That's not a bad answer ever.
Yeah. I really like her design a lot, because it's like people are either weirded out by the big eyes or
they're
they
great.
like them. But I think her design is really like it's like very memorable. And she doesn't have that much screen time. Obviously, she's like, oh no, it's not because she got spoiler happened to her. I don't know if it happened in the anime.
Well, it's not even a spoiler anymore because that happened in the show already.
The anime's past it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
the whole deal with All for One taking her quirk and stuff like, oh yeah, that sucks. But I think her design is super cute. I really like her casual outfit from that one chapter. Yeah, I don't really have complex thoughts on Ragdoll because she's not the most relevant or character that has the most screen time. But yeah, I like her.
So I picked Ragdoll here because there's a very small handful of characters, and I'm picking people now based off we don't have many people on, so I don't want to have I'm holding on to Toga until a certain part of the anime passes.
Okay. Okay. You want to get to I know what you want to get to.
Yeah. So I'm holding on to her for that, and then it's I can't do most characters when George is on because George stopped as the attack on the camp started. I'm like,
It's my favorite thing where George refuses to watch it, but doesn't want any spoilers to happen. So
yeah,
he's set up a roadblock. It's pretty funny.
I'm gonna share this. I mean, podcast listeners, I'm sorry, but if you type in Ragdoll MHA on Google, you'll see this. But Skylar, I just want to show you this picture of Ragdoll that I love. It's super good. It's in DADCast.
Yeah, see, that's good. That's a good thing. Have you seen that Ragdoll comic where it's where it's she's hanging out with the Pussycats and All Might walks by and everyone's yeah man, All Might's so cool, it's almost he doesn't have any weaknesses, and then you look at Ragdoll's quirk is that she can see people's weaknesses. That's her deal.
Well, right? Yeah, she can find them, and it was them and their weaknesses up to a certain amount distance from her, but it's super helpful. So it's
the panels are just Ragdoll's point of view, and she sees a big muscular All Might, and it looks behind him, and there's skinny skeletal All Might who's hunched over gripping his wound or whatever, and she's just yeah man, All Might really is a hero or whatever. And I was oh my god, I'm getting catching feelings from this comic.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. I love her. One of the things that cemented it most is because she didn't show up for a while in the manga. After that, the entire Pussycats team just took a break because they earned it. And she came back, and they were we're back. And you see her in the background. She's yeah, I don't have powers, but I can be a secretary.
Yeah, I'll still. So she got oracled, basically, is what happened.
Yeah, well, she can still walk.
Yeah. True enough.
Stairs are no longer her greatest villain.
You know what? It's bullshit that Batman never made her robot legs. He can make a bunch of other things. He never once made her Tony Stark made fucking Rhodey some robot legs. Why couldn't Batman make Barbara some robot legs?
Because he was busy.
Yeah, he's
for years
kidnapping more children to make Robin.
Okay, how many Robins? Okay, no, there was one more. There was one more during that time. I think that's when he got Damien, and Damien was more thrust upon him than kidnapped. No more Tim Drakes or anyone else. No more people bashing him with crowbars, forcing him to get a new sidekick.
There was the one from Batman Returns, but I don't know. Or sorry, the Dark Knight Returns. But I don't know if that counts. It was
doesn't, because that's like
the girl
far
wrong.
future, and she found him.
Yeah, she kidnapped herself.
Pretty much, maybe she lived on the street. I don't know. It's been a while since I
think
read
she
that
was
story.
was like her parents were like abusive or something.
Oof.
It was I know,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure it was like she would sneak out of her like parents' apartment to go like find Batman. I remember that specifically, but I don't remember what her parents were like.
Huh. Yeah, I'll believe that, because I mean, if it's Frank Miller's writing, I'll believe it's bad times for everyone.
Oh yeah, that's like the constant. That dude's got problems.
Yeah, he was fine at first, and then it kind of went places. But whatever, he still has his soul good stories. Last thing I want to mention on Ragdoll, which is in loose connection to her, I was like, God, I think it's so cool. Is they're talking about her quirk, and they're like talking about getting it back, and they're like, well, and there's a cut back to All for One. They're like, oh, I mean, I honestly feel bad about the people's powers they take. If you let me out of here, I promise I'll go back to her and give her powers. And he's this huge shit-eating grin. I'm like, why are you so cool?
He's so evil. It's actually ridiculous how evil that man is.
And he constantly gives off the impression of like, I can just leave if I want to. Like he mentions all the stuff that's around him. Like he's like, this is basically Tartarus. If I scratch my back, if I move an inch to scratch my back, every gun in here aims at me. If I think about using my quirk, this happens. But then like All Might was like, God, he says that, and All Might's like, you're never getting out of here. And the first thing he says to that is like, let's just assume that to be the case. I'm like, wow, man, be cooler. Could you? Like everything he does. I think
it says a lot about you that that you think that this incredibly evil villain is the coolest character.
I mean, what's for everyone listening? What's my screen name on Discord?
Always be evil.
Yes, so that should answer everything.
I really like that this new trend on our server where everyone is always be something. So I'm always be free. That's me.
Yeah. So behind the scenes stuff, not even behind the scenes. This wasn't even on the scenes. For like, I've always been known as like always be evil on our Discord. And one day George's like, I'll always be good. And then there just became a wave of everyone who's regularly on the server became always be like, I don't know. Everyone else loves it.
Claude's upset that we were stolen his gimmick.
Yeah. But you have to admit, even if he's super evil, tell me that's not a cool line. Him talking about all the stuff around him
is cool. That I will not deny that it's cool. That he's cool, because he is. He's a cool guy.
And of all the evil characters I talk about, he's not as evil as some of them. I wouldn't say he's as evil as Overhaul in comparison.
So, you know, Overhaul's a different kind of evil. Like what do you like? All for One is like the kind of evil that's like, you know, all encompassing, like the big picture evil. That's like, I'm gonna take over the world kind of bullshit,
more manipulative evil than anything else.
And then Overhaul is the kind of evil that's like small scale goal, but just does some fucking raw ass shit for like almost no reason. Like he just comes across as being a horrible monster in like a deeply personal way. Like oh yeah, dude, I'll look after your daughter, and then cuts her up and uses her fucking bones to make.
I mean, we shouldn't really go into that.
Yeah, but like, fuck, dude, the motherfucker cuts up little girls and makes weapons out of their bones. So he, you know.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
People listening to this, if you don't have any idea what the fuck we're talking about, just be hyped for season 4 of My Hero Academia.
Yeah. It's really good arc. It's one of my favorite ones.
And that's all we got to say on Ragdoll. Yeah. So give your vote. I'm saying viable because I like Ragdoll.
I'm saying she's viable as well. Her and Mandalay are the best of the fucking wild pussycats.
Well, Mandalay is going to be coming up sooner or later.
that ribbed sweater, and that's how you know she's good. That's she's saying already that she's viable because she's got a ribbed sweater.
Like, you have no idea how hard I'm trying to stretch out this waifu cast for Toga because like
Just
I was like, all right,
George.
Yes, well, not even for George, because fuck him. Like, for the very specific moment in the show that I'm like, I want to talk about it after that, but I don't want to talk about it like before the part of the show happens.
Right.
It'll be this season, but I'm like, I just need to find something to kill the time, and then it's like, oh wait, you thought we were getting closer? Nah, filler episode that ties into the movie this week. You gotta wait a little bit longer for Toga. I'm like, god damn it.
Yeah, but now you can ask about Melissa, who is the character that everyone knows about.
It's the movie character who's gonna do nothing.
The Poochie. She's gonna go back to America, her home planet, at the end of the movie.
Okay, well, speaking of that, let's actually do a good segue, something impossible for James. Anyone wants to know about Melissa and shit going on with what we were just talking about a second ago? My Hero Academia 2 Heroes has tickets on sale right now. The dates for the movies is September 26th, 27th, 29th, and October 2nd. Once you go on like any of the sites that you would use to buy tickets, like Fandango or Atom or whatever specifically, one thing I would note is look on each of the movie dates, because from what I've seen, they're typically only showing like one time a day on each of those days. Certain days will play it in English dub, so the Funimation dub, and other days we'll play it with the Japanese with English subtitles instead. I'm probably gonna watch it in English because I'll be watching it with my girlfriend, and I got her in the series and we've been watching the English dub together. Plus, I am a huge fan of like the English voice acting cast for the series.
Yeah, English All Might is Chris Sabat, so that's pretty sick.
Is.
That's pretty sick. And then I like English Deku as well.
I don't like him as much as like.
I feel like I like that he's literally acted like he's Peter Parker. Like that's like Deku just became Peter Parker in the dub, and I kind of appreciate that because Deku is kind of like nerdy Peter Parker, just with a different superhero power thing.
Yeah, I can't fight that. It's not even that he's bad. It's just I think it's just certain words. It's like hearing like the Japanese one being like full cowl. I'm like, yeah, I like it. And then hearing the English one say full cowling with an ing, and it sounds a bit off. And he says it's like
full cowling. That's right. I forgot they made that change.
I was like, God, why? Just say full cowl. But you know, the only thing that's like actually atrocious in the English dub, which has left long since because it's not referenced anymore, is listen to English child Deku's voice. Holy shit, does that grate my ears?
I've actually have heard that, and yes, it's not good. It's pretty rough. That's not a good one.
Yes.
It's obviously like the same actor, like with like the worst falsetto of all time. It's like it's pretty bad.
Hey, Cat-chan. Oh my god, like it's so bad. But yeah, no, I probably won't hear him ever again. Hopefully. But yeah, so if you're interested,
maybe soon again. There's a
listen, man.
I think there's a part that happens soon. But I forget.
Part?
I could be wrong.
Because I'm caught up, and I don't remember seeing another child Deku
isn't it like
in
the
the manga.
thing with Bakugo? There's a scene with Bakugo, or doesn't it flash back to them when they're kids?
I don't believe so. He does talk about them as they were kids, but because I reread that part recently too.
Okay, because I don't remember exactly. I just can't remember if it did that or not. I feel like it would though.
Yeah, and I remember really being so hyped for season 4 that I just reread the entire arc again, starting from like the fight between. Well, it's not even a spoiler anymore because they showed last week. The fight between like the few people who were fighting Gang Orca, like from there on to like where the series is now again. And there's a point where Deku does talk about how they were when they were kids, but there's no actual flashback scenes with them as kids. Yeah, so hopefully I don't have to deal with that. Other things that don't want to be dealt with is Crunchyroll doesn't want to deal with the fucking blowback from High Guardian Spice because they disabled comments immediately. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. They didn't even leave comments up for a fucking minute. They were the same the second the video was put up. They didn't want to deal with it at all.
All right, so
They
Skylar,
fucking knew beforehand.
for the viewers at home, do you want to tell people what's going on? Like, what is High Guardian Spice and why is there controversy?
Okay, so I feel like the controversy is kind of dumb, but it's just that. So basically, the deal, right, is that Crunchyroll announced that there's going to be two, not just High Guardian Spice, there's another one, but there's going to be two Crunchyroll produced animation series, right? One of them is this we're talking about now is High Guardian Spice, which is produced by a Western animation studio. As far as I understand, its animation studio is Western. If it doesn't matter if it is or not, because the entire writing staff is Western, and they keep the controversy is mostly about how they kept advertising it as like this, yeah, so progressive. Our entire writing
We're the
room
most diverse cast.
Yeah, the most diverse fucking production of all time. We have fucking all female writing team or whatever.
Yeah, so 50%. I forgot what it said. Like,
Yeah,
they said half of something.
50% general staff, 100% is women.
100% of the writing
100%
is
of
writing
the
is
writing
series.
is women. And so like, man, like I hate to be that fucking like, man, SJWs, whatever the fuck, but fucking look at that production room. It literally looks like fucking DashCon. It looks like it looks like they look like fake people. They look like a cartoon character representation of what the Tumblr audience is. And they kept saying shit in that fucking
You'll never see anything like this.
Yeah, I've never made a story like this. No one else is brave enough to make a production like this, and I'm like, fuck right off. This is not like fucking Clamp, the people that made Cardcaptor Sakura and Tsubasa Chronicles and did the designs for Code Geass, and that studio, that's all women. You're not the first people that have done this shit. I don't understand why they gotta be like this.
So like my main beef is like, if it's all right, it's like, all right, yeah, we're 100% writer staff, we're all, or female writer staff, we're super diverse, such and such and such. Is like, people were complaining about the diverse thing, which I'm like,
which is because it's literally not true. Because if you say that it's so diverse and then it's all women, it's like, that's literally not diverse.
Yeah.
It's just homogenous in the opposite direction.
Yeah, so it's the exact same problem. It's just like, I guess in an area where if you want to make, I don't know much about writing rooms, so I'm not going to fight this. It's like, if you want to make the argument like, oh, well, we're doing it different because it's all females instead of like all white males is traditional. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you have a half of a point there, but it still doesn't work to call it diverse. Either way, that wasn't my beef. And then being like, oh, they're stressing about how we've never seen stories like this and all that before is like, also not my beef. I didn't care, not my beef. Because from my whole deal is like, I just care a thing is well written. I don't care who make it. Homeless dude that always runs, or maybe he's not homeless, that crazy guy who always runs for president every year
with the boot on his head,
wears a tinfoil hat. Yeah.
He has the big boot on his head. That guy.
Yeah, I said tinfoil, but yeah, he might as well have tinfoil. Yeah, like that guy, he could write a story, and as long as it's well written, cool. My beef is how much they talk this up. Not one part of that like 3
talks
minute
about
like,
what the
thing
is.
Yes, nothing once. All you know is it's girls that go to a school to become guardians. That is literally it.
Nothing like this. Never heard anything like this. Not even Soul Eater, or Ruby, or Little Witch Academia, or Naruto.
Like, it's just like, I get it. You want to push we're progressive. Okay, whatever. Like, that doesn't cater to me. That caters to someone. I don't care. I just care that things well written. But when we can't even get what's the main character's name? You didn't tell me? You were too busy telling us about how diverse you were? Like, I instantly stopped caring. And it's even worse when they know the blowback will be bad because the moment a thing is posted, comments are disabled.
Now, I did want to mention, here's the other series they did announce. There's another one that it didn't get as much press for it. They're doing an adaptation of like a web manga. They're also producing this one. It's called Urahara. And I don't know nothing about it except that it's set in Harajuku, which is like the clothing district in Tokyo. And it's like just girls that do it. And that one is the one where I believe it is, again, all female writing staff. Not like, but it's like the director is female, and then it's a writer and the producer, I'm pretty sure. And that one is Japanese produced, and that's all I got about it. And yeah, so that exists. It's a web manga adaptation, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But that one I have less of an issue with, in the sense that it's just a normal ass, and like the all-female writing staff thing is not that weird in Japan. Like, it's just whatever. These are dudes that are doing a thing. The director won some award for a short that she did when she was in college, so maybe the show will be good. Who cares? It's just a normal ass production of an anime at that point. And that was all that it was. Yeah. The art looks kind of nice, so they
for
actually.
Which one now? For the Urahara?
Yeah, Urahara.
Okay, for some reason I don't know why I thought you were talking about the art in like High Guardian Spice.
looks like
The Cal Arts.
Yeah, like I hate that meme is bad, but I hate.
It's honest though. Like, it does look like just most.
It looks like a
modern shows.
It looks like a web comic, is what it looks like to me. Like the art they showed, it looks like a web comic. With the still art. Yeah, that's just what it reminded me of. Like you know, like those like they even have like Tumblr noses. You know?
I actually don't remember much of I am trying to remember now. Outside of the main character, which I might even be remembering wrong, I just remember her face and hair. I don't remember what any of the characters look like.
Almost looked like template, like things that you put together, like in Flash. It was weird.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
well, enough about fucking High Guardian Spice. We'll move on to the next section.
I just want to say that Crunchyroll sucks, and that because their website's bad. That's what I want to say. Because do you know that fucking shit still uses Flash? Do you know their player still uses Flash?
I know that now because of Digibro.
Oh yeah,
I never use their website. I just use the app on my PS4, which runs fine.
Yeah, but the app on the PS4 is like, I hate the interface for it. The website, I was always a thing where for years I was always like, why is this website player so shitty? Why can't I just start at the beginning of the episode, please? Won't let me. And I didn't know that until someone posted like on the Reddit on our anime about the HTML5 like add-on you can do, like the plugin for Crunchyroll to make it change the player to
make it work way better.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's embarrassing.
I think one of my favorite posts about Crunchyroll after the Digibro like please stop video was, what do you think's gonna end first, guys? The public support of Crunchyroll or Crunchyroll's use of Flash?
Crunchyroll's use of Flash. Yeah, what the fuck are they gonna do when the Flash comes out? Or dies, dies. Because Flash is going out of service, so they're gonna stop supporting stuff. Like, that plugin's fucking gonna die.
Yeah, someone already answered that. It's like, I already know what's gonna happen. They're gonna just shut down and tell everyone to move on to Verve. Yeah, shit, that's fucking... Yeah, because like, it's like, they already don't care. Like, that one game they advertised and then censored, and then when people were like, we wanted to play like the actual version, and their straight official account said, if you want to play the original Japanese version without the censorship, learn Japanese.
Yeah, yes, they play the Japanese version. That also was a huge disaster because they advertised it as being unchanged from the Japanese version, and they even included the stuff that they cut in like the English version trailer. So they had to pull the trailer, so they didn't. So people couldn't file like a civil suit for false advertisement. Yeah, because they would have broken the law at that point. First, yeah. So there was that. Also, like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. The thing where they reduced the bit rate on a bunch of their older videos. So, like, you go back and you watch like old episodes of stuff. It says it's in 1080p, but it's trimmed at a lower bit rate, so it's actually like lower quality. So you get like really bad artifacting sometimes. It sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's stuff wrong. Like, I use Crunchyroll mainly because it's for the stuff I want to watch. It is the most convenient.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is that if it's convenient, people will use it. I really wish that they would like actually make their service better. So especially with how much money that they apparently have to host their own con, that their service still sucks despite them spending all that money on things. How some dude made a plugin to make HTML5 work on their website, and they keep making excuses as to why they can't implement that for themselves. And they also host their own con every year, and they can't get HTML5 up on their own website, and they
also funded the creation of 2 new shows.
And they apparently can't afford a higher bitrate. They literally said it was too expensive to keep the old bitrate. But
no, shut up. They need to give all the money to the animation studios.
So much money on other things. Anyway, it's just...
Yeah, it's... I don't know. Like, Crunchyroll, there's the pluses and the cons. Like, I'll be honest, I use it. I'm fine with it for the most part. Outside, like, when it comes to, like, just streaming stuff on, like, PS4, I don't have any problems. The stuff that they do as a company, that's the ones just, like, I have an issue here, but... it's not really affecting me too much personally. If there was a better service, I'd consider that, because what's its competitors? You have High Dive, which is fairly new, because that came out as a service, like, last year.
High Dive also
Amazon,
Sentai
which get fucked if you watch your anime on Amazon, because they never show up. Like, you have to, like, know the exact name. And if it wasn't changed from Japanese, you have to know, like, what the Japanese name is to search it. There's no, like, hey, what anime has come out, like, new release stuff.
They don't advertise it at all.
Yeah, so you have Funimation does stuff, but only stuff the Funimation licenses.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I'm fine. I'm generally fine with Funimation.
I subscribe to Funimation. I like them. Yeah. The only thing I don't like, which is how they handle some shows, like... it goes show by show. Like Dragon Ball Super didn't have a dub until, like, they got super far in, because I guess they had a deal with Adult Swim. So, like, it wasn't until...
You go on. Sorry.
I was saying it wasn't until the Japanese version got into, like... I think until the Japanese version was, like, midway/late way through the second to most recent arc, which is Goku Black, that the first, like, 25 episodes appeared on Funimation dubbed, despite the fact that they had already been dubbed and were airing on Adult Swim.
Yeah, there's also the weird shit with Hellsing Ultimate, where the last 2 episodes weren't dubbed for, like, fucking 5 years. I think. Like, I remember I watched Hellsing Ultimate when I was in high school, and they didn't officially. And it was all the way up to episode 8 out of 10. And episodes 9 and 10 didn't get dubbed until, like, a fucking year or so ago. So
no, they were dubbed because I came into Hellsing Ultimate late, because I watched Hellsing when I was in like, high school, and, like, years later I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? Is different, because I saw how Madhouse, like, just a little clip of some Madhouse shows, because I really liked Madhouse, still do. And I was like, I haven't seen this, and I found out about Hellsing Ultimate, and I watched it and loved it, and that was like... God, it's been a minute. It's been at least 8 years. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was very recent they did their English dub. Maybe that's when they put it up on Funimation, because the whole show has been done forever.
I'm trying to figure out when they.
Well, hey, everyone listening here, I hope you like anime, because we are the new weekly Weebcast. Because Mother's Basement ain't doing that shit, so now we are.
Now, yeah, that's what we are, bitch. Yeah, I don't know when they came out. Apparently, they were out in 2016 was when they finally got dubbed. So that was like 4 years that they weren't.
But
dubbed.
I watched the full thing in dub forever ago.
Well, that was 2 years ago. So I mean,
forever.
It depends on, because when I tried to watch them, I was about 5 years ago. They weren't all dubbed. So.
Did I watch it? No, I know I didn't watch it subbed. There's no way. Whatever. I guess it's
I
not important.
know for sure that they weren't dubbed when I saw it the first time, because and that was like 2012.
Okay. Well, I guess that's that. Well, damn, that lasted way longer than I expected. Moving on to the next section.
The problem with Funimation dubs is that they sometimes put, like, weird identity politics bullshit in them. Did you see the thing with the Dragon Maid dub? Is the one people always point out, where it was like They did some bullshit about, like, remember the scene where Lukua comes over to Kobayashi's house and Kobayashi's like makes like a passing remark about like, hey, did you come over here wearing that outfit kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just like she's just like super revealing outfit or whatever. And in the thing she's just like, maybe you shouldn't do that because whatever, Japan, you know. And the dub, they changed it so that Lukua made some comment about the patriarchy or something. And it was just like, why is it gotta be like that? So they and it's one writer at Funimation does it apparently. She did it one other time for another show that I forget. But so it's that person. She likes to put in fucking gender identity politics bullshit and something.
Down with the patriarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't care that much because as much as I love the show, I don't see myself watching the dub.
Oh no, I would never watch the dub. Fuck that. What do you want? That's not happening.
Before I move on to the Venom thing, because I keep getting stopped, anything else anime related you want to talk about? Because we can just go.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. Fucking. Oh, I guess I want to talk about how High Dive sucks because they keep getting the Sentai keeps licensing shows and putting them on High Dive. I think that Sentai has just decided that's the streaming platform they're going to use things for, and Sentai's translators suck. They're so bad, and so they put their shit on High Dive, and then so like recently they licensed Review Starlight, so that's on High Dive, right?
Oh, Sentai's doing that.
Yeah, and so it's literally, I can't recommend people watch the official sub of that show on High Dive because it's so poorly translated and so poorly typeset that you sometimes can't even read what's happening on screen. It's literally a show that I can't recommend unless you watch fan subs because otherwise there's some shit that's just illegible and ununderstandable because of how bad the translation is. Like there's like a screenshot I think I showed Claude where it's like for episode 1 where it's like the first review. So like, the show has this very nice typesetting where it's like the review is a play, so they're all like the title is like review of something. So the first episode is like review of Pride, I think, and it has like all this shit on the screen. It looks very nice normally, but but the High Dive version has just this massive blocks of text that are just blocking everything because they don't know how to sub the signs and shit, and so you can't read anything that's happening on the screen. So the dialogue is overlapping with the sign translation, which is overlapping with the actual on-screen text, and it looks so bad. And it covers up the beautiful animation, so it's just like it's so bad.
But is this animation as beautiful as that of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord? Watch Mojo can get fucked.
Don't talk about Watch Mojo. You give them power if you mention
They already have it, dog. They have millions of subscribers.
If you even pretend that they're relevant, then you give them more power.
They have it all already. That's like saying that about like Nero. Like if you think of him as more powerful than he is, he'll gain more power. But like he rules shit. You can't stop this man. He already has everything.
Yeah, but I can pretend they don't exist if I don't talk about them.
You force yourself to forget, but you have to know. Like
long ago I decided that I wasn't gonna get mad at Watch Mojo lists anymore. I decided that wasn't a thing that was going to happen. I needed to move on from that era of my life.
No, man, you can't because it's too super. Oh, yeah, for anyone listening now, their list on top 10 anime from the summer of 2018 triggered both myself and Skylar, more so Skylar, because
it was just really bad. They both of the best shows this season weren't even on the list or mentioned in the honorable mention. So it's like it means they just didn't watch anything.
Like we actually spent time going through like just the last week of their stuff, and like some of them is like, why is this even exist? If I can find, I'm just scrolling through. If I can find one, I'll mention it. If not, then whatever.
Can I mention?
But there's one that was nonsensical for why it even existed.
It's just like the fucking the most popular show this season apparently is Angels of Death.
Why?
What the fuck is that about, man?
I don't know, man. That actually makes me like upset because I watched it. It's like edgy bullshit that like, okay, cool, you exist, I guess, but ain't much else to.
People fucking love
that.
it, dude. I don't get it.
I'm gonna pain train it with Stewie because I need to know at this point.
Yeah, I really want someone to actually watch all of it so I can see if they can understand why the fuck it's both popular here and in Japan. Like the same girl character won New Type magazine's like top female character thing also like this very recently. So it's not just popular here. So that's it's got me fucked up, to be honest.
Okay, I found one of them. This is the only one I'll mention because like I said this and then Braden was like, "Oh well, how old is that?" And it was from this week. Top 10 memorable Aretha Franklin moments. Like, why?
Oh, that's pretty bad. Is number one her death?
I don't know. I was looking at thumbnails. I'll be damned if I'm going to watch these videos. Yeah, I just checked. 18 million subscribers, man. They're too powerful.
Dude, I remember I remember when I used to be subscribed to that channel like when I was in high school, that it would just fucking fill my subscription feed with bullshit I didn't care about. And that was like it's such a bad channel.
They have like 3 top 10 lists a day. And they've been going for so many years. How?
They have one that was like top 10 Anti-tubers. I remember I watched that at some point. I remember the only part about the video that was fun was that they talked about Demolition D. And so I had a brief moment of happiness because I was reminded that Demolition D exists. And that's the happiest I've ever been watching a Watch Mojo video.
Oh. God damn. We need to fucking move on. We're still on this shit.
Yeah. I am now done.
Okay. Tom Hardy signed for 3 Venom movies. Go.
Sony, stop it. Stop it, Sony.
Like, I think we've mentioned this before. I like Venom a lot as a character. He makes me really like Spider-Man when he's in something related to Spider-Man. I've never really cared for Venom too much when he's just on his own. Like, I don't know, man. But I always hate alright, the first thing isn't even out, but we are going to plan for so many. Like, get blown out of the water even harder, Dark Universe. Like, you saw what happened to them.
Yeah, I did see what happened to them. It's just like, so they have like no, it's just you're putting too much money in one basket. You gotta let it be. Mm-hmm. The movie's not even out yet, and you don't got the best track record with this kind of shit, Sony. So you know.
Is that your direct letter to Sony?
Yes, that's my direct statements. Speaking directly to Sony CEO. Man, I just forget the name of. Stop it. I'm telling you right now, you gotta like let movies come out. If they do make enough money, you gotta make sure the investment. You're wasting so much money. You're fucking hemorrhaging money in all departments except for video games. And literally, me, fucking 21-year-old man, can tell you why. So you need to stop it.
Agreed. Something else being stopped is Amazon's 20% off pre-ordered games. So
sucks for Amazon Prime subscribers, man.
Yeah, it sucks for me. Basically, for if you didn't know, Amazon had this deal where if you pre-ordered games through them, they'd be 20% off. And I found out about this through like something on like my just general like, hey, you like video games? Here's video game news for Google. Like was like, if you want Smash Bros cheaper, better order on Amazon now before it goes away. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Why is it even worded like that? And it's like, yeah, no, starting next week, I believe. Starting next week, the deal is going away. James told me a bit about this in a bit more detail about how it's actually being replaced with like you'll get some type of $10 voucher or something like that instead on pre-orders that can go to other purchases. I'm not too familiar about it. James is probably being stabbed by the Sentinelese and hung up for food, so he won't be able to answer this. But yeah, that's at least what I heard, and it sucks because I used to pre-order some games for them because
I have lots
going
of
to
people
GameStop.
I have lots of people that pre-order shit on Amazon just because you'd save the 20% on it, and so they'd be willing to get shit late just because they obviously would get it like much cheaper.
Yeah, I mean they were my best source of stuff. So it's like I have basically a system where how I'm going to get my games. If it is a game that has been out for a while, I will just get it digital, because games tend to go on sale fairly often, especially on PS4. If it is a game that I don't care about, like, or that I like, that I want to play, but I know I won't have much replay value, I'll order it on Amazon to get it cheaper and then just sell that. But now that that's going away, I don't know. I might actually just I'll figure something else out. I don't know, but it does kind of suck.
Yeah, it does.
Do you have any other thoughts on that before we go on to like Gamescom news?
No, man. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's unfortunate. I wonder why. I mean, probably because people. Well, I guess too many people were using it. Probably. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. It's a loss of value for Amazon Prime.
They're not too big a fan of the. Oh man, I was almost a James Tier joke. I'm glad I stopped myself. Oof.
I don't even know where you're going with that. I'm not even gonna ask.
It's not that bad. It's just like a joke that like I know you'd get and no one listening would get because it's involving the current where they are right now in the manga for Made in Abyss.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, jokes for only Skylar.
Yeah, jokes for 12 people. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, moving on. So Gamescom happened this week. There's a good bit of news from that. Which of all that news, we have a handful because I'm not talking about like NVIDIA cards and shit. So right now, it's only the stuff.
You don't have about the video cards, dude. Yeah,
nope.
Excited about the new NVIDIA bullshits.
I'm a dumb console peasant who doesn't care nothing about no NVIDIA cards.
I don't know nothing about graphics cards either. So, yeah, right there with you.
So the first thing I wanted to put down, because like I don't care about battle royale stuff. I mostly don't like shooters, so none of that stuff really touches me anyway. But one thing I did find interesting was the Dying Light 2 had a battle royale mode called Bad Blood. Do you know anything about this?
Literally know nothing about this.
It's more. It works more so about like how I wish. Like I don't really care about Fortnite. That's when I care the least about. But I'm pretty sure you know how its mode is. It's 100 people there. I'm like, I wish they had the zombies or something else like PvP, but also PvE. The way it works in Bad Blood is it is 12 players, and there are still zombies everywhere. And I know there's certain objectives you have to do, and then like escape, and you're done. But you also have them, the ability to fuck up the other people playing and murder them. So yeah, it does have PvP elements while just put in a PvE world, which that I found very interesting.
That does sound kind of cool, actually.
Did you ever play the first Dying Light?
I did play Dying Light. It was really how that game was fucking cool.
Yes, it was super fun. I remember last time like a game so effectively, at least for me, put me in a situation where like X thing is the deal. Don't be caught during X thing. Like, the whole like, okay, zombies get way more powerful during night. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I legitimately had to question myself when it was like the sun was coming down. I was like, do I want to go out? Do I want to finish this mission today? Because like, I don't want to deal with those super zombies that are faster than you and can like parkour way better than you can. Like, Oh man, I like Dying Light a lot.
The super zombies in that game were, they're actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Actually fucking horrifying. That when they catch you, it's like it's like the most intense shit. Because you have to play out your fucking ass. You have to be godlike for like 10 minutes, or else you're fucking dead. It's
that or be close enough to a safe area.
Yeah, like
where
have
the black lights will
flare
stop
or
them.
something. Yeah.
Which I used to cheese out the system all the time, where I'd constantly walk in and out if I was close enough to one, and keep them close and keep taking like headshots until I get like all that delicious experience. Because part of the glory of doing anything at night is you got double experience.
You would just being alive at night would give you fuckloads of experience. That game was incredibly fun. So I'm excited for Dying Light 2.
Yeah, same. Something that like I'm also excited for, but also has not so great news for some people, is the fact that Bloodstain was delayed to 2019.
Yeah, that sucks. I did not back Bloodstained. But yeah, I mean, it sucks for people that's, you know, that it's fucking delayed again.
Yeah,
delayed again for the second
so
time.
I backed it this year because I knew about it, but just same deal as Indivisible. I was like, oh man, I found out about this too late. Too bad I can't back it. And then I was like, oh wait, backing is still available for this Kickstarter game that was put on Kickstarter. Like, when was it put on Kickstarter? Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
It was December. I think it was really close to when like Shenmue and Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. So it's been for a while, and like because I backed it recently, I don't have as big of a problem of being delayed. And even then, 9 times out of 10 when the game's delayed, I'm like, fine, that's fine. If it comes out better for it, like despite my shitty skills at platformers, like I really like them. I think you said you had the same problem with twin stick shooters.
With shmups. I really like shmups,
that was it.
But I'm really bad at them.
You know, I really like platformers despite my god awful skills at them. Like almost at the point of embarrassment when I played Super Mario Odyssey and I loved it. And I got to the end when some shenanigans happens. You have to go through one part of the game, just one small part, in this long like escape sequence where it goes back to classic like Super Mario. Mm-hmm. And I died like 8 times on the same easy jump. Like, I'm like, God, I'm so fucking bad at this. But yeah, as long as they make it better, cool. My other idea behind this is the same reason not a lot of games are coming out Q4 of this year. Rockstar is putting out Red Dead, and get fucked if you want to compete with that. Like,
yeah.
Rockstar dominates holidays, and the only people with the balls to compete with them because they can is Smash.
Yeah, Nintendo. They'll do it. They'll fucking compete with Rockstar. Fuck you. Everyone loves Smash.
Yeah, like it's not even quite like that's. I don't think I have confidence in any other game / developer to go up against something as big as Red Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're doing so. That's part of why I believe that like maybe it could be put out this year, but I wouldn't fault them for being like, let's delay it. The only thing that would make me a bit sad is if it got put out in the same quarter / general release window as Indivisible. That would make me sad.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to choose between those. And if I do have to, I'm picking Indivisible.
I back Indivisible, so I'm just gonna get that. I just have that game when it comes out, so that's gonna be nice.
Same. I did it where I'm gonna have the code for the PS4, and I'm getting a Switch copy of it.
I'm getting a PS4 copy of it and the code, so that's gonna be pretty nice.
Oh, you're doubling down on that? Well, I guess it makes sense.
It's just like I don't have another platform to put it on, and like really, I want the digital download, because you know that's sick, and I just want the fucking case to put it on my shelf, basically.
Okay.
Right. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's that's one of the few. Oh, there's a thunderstorm in the background. So if there's any thunder,
same here.
Sorry. That's the glory of living in Tampa, Florida. You will get thunderstorms on the reg.
Every other day.
Yeah. So moving on, we have Shao's died twice. Sekiro gameplay, as well as the fact they announced a collector's edition, and the release date of the game is March 22nd. So surprisingly, not that far off. I'm actually gonna look up details on collector's edition because I don't have that up right now. If you want to, like, I know you liked the gameplay a lot. I liked it too. But if you want to mark out on that for a minute.
Hold on. Which one? Oh, for Devil May Cry?
What? No, not that yet. I don't know if they announced collector's edition for that, but no. Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, okay, so Sekiro looks fucking sick, nasty, rad. I'm so excited for it. The gameplay they showed off is just like the amount of mobility that you have with the grappling hook looks fucking crazy. And like it's like it was basically it looks like it reminds me of like Onimusha, like the kind of combat reminds me of Onimusha. But you have like not the fixed cameras and like tank controls like Onimusha does. It's like like action background like behind the shoulders or whatever. But you have so much mobility. They had like wall runs and wall climbing and like grappling hook points at like every single thing. It was like every single thing you could get on top of had a grappling hook point on it. And then big enemies you could grapple like onto them to do a grappling
the thing
attack.
that has like the thing around its neck.
Yeah, like the ogre or whatever.
Fucking body slam ogre is cool as shit.
Yeah, it has a fucking drop kick.
Yeah, I saw that, and it has a people's elbow at the end of one of its combos.
Yeah, it does. It literally has wrestling moves. It has a fucking power bomb. It has a stunner. It has a drop kick, and then it has like a giant swing type deal where it like throws you over its head.
Fucking kayfabe over in this bitch.
It's super good. Yeah. And yeah, so like the stealth mixed with like the action combat looks really satisfying. The game has this system that I think is kind of cool, where it's like the enemy's health is based off of like a thing they call it posture, where instead of like hitting someone down to death like with like HP, like deplete their HP like an RPG or whatever, it's like you decrease their stamina by hitting them, so you can do a finishing attack on them.
So I don't remember the name of it. They actually confirmed that it's not stamina, because that's one of the things I like about it, and I think Max made it harder, is like stamina, unlike the Souls games or any Souls clones, is not a factor in this game.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, they specifically called it posture in one of the interviews, and it's basically like your character's ability to block correctly. And like doing a parry on someone will reduce the enemy's posture, and if it goes down to like below 0, you can do like an insta-kill finisher on them, and enemies can do the same thing to you. So I think that's cool. It's
insta-kill for lesser enemies, because when they were doing the whole thing about the boss fight, they mentioned you gotta do that a couple times if you want to kill him.
Yeah,
it's balanced pretty well from what it looks like.
Yeah. So it just looks like pretty much what I want out of like that kind of game, like just like the Souls style level design, and give me like a big boy action game attached to it.
So I actually found the details for the collector's edition. So the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice collection edition includes the full game, which, take note, certain versions of Assassin's Creed or certain versions of Ubisoft games. Yeah, the full game, 7-inch shinobi statue, so your main character, a steel book, collectible art book, like a paper map of the game, digital soundtrack, and 3 replica coins. I guess they're supposed to be like the in-game yen or whatever it's supposed to be. And this is $89.99, which is surprisingly cheap for all that stuff, because that's only like $20 more than just the main game. So if you're interested in that, that's the price point. It comes out March 22nd. Any more you have to add on that?
No, I mean, it looks really good.
All right, well then, moving past that, we get the thing that you thought we were going to talk about at first, which was Devil May Cry 5, which also has a release date in March, but the date for that is March 8th.
Yep.
God, fucking Nero doing power bombs and seeing like all of it looked so cool. Him just grabbing this oversized demon and swirling it and throwing it into a building that's like falling apart.
Makes my pee really big. Did you see the meme someone made of that where it did the fucking thing from Mario 64? Where
Yes,
he
he shared it.
So long, gay Bowser. It's so good. Did you see? Also, there's the fucking the meme where like the bit from the cutscene where like Nero's walking and then the truck falls on him.
Yes,
and
then it gets.
And he gets out, and then but it's the fucking stupid like trap alien dancing.
Yeah, I love it. Like I was actually thinking, like they didn't show that off, and it was like Nero's Devil Trigger looks so cool.
Yeah.
Can he even go Devil Trigger?
I don't think so because I saw him Sparta.
Because he doesn't have the arm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, not anymore. I think they might have a thing where Dante's gonna have Devil Trigger, obviously.
Well, yeah, that would be weird if he didn't.
The mysterious V, I wonder who that could be. Is gonna.
James is still arguing about that.
Bruh, come on.
I'm not even kidding. I was like, boy, I wonder. He's like, you know what? Actually, there's a lot of stuff pointing to it not being Virgil. I was like, a lot of stuff pointing to it not being one of the most popular characters in the franchise that people have been clamoring about getting back, who came back for arms specifically. James, like I understand being skeptical, but you're being skeptical way too like you're way too cemented into this mindset.
I guess though he has a point where it's like we don't know, but like
I'm not saying he's wrong. It's just him being like
it's just there's so many things. I mean, it might be a really big red herring.
Mm-hmm.
Because V, and then he took the arms, so you think he's Virgil, and then yeah. So I mean,
if it's not Virgil, I'll shit myself.
If it's not Virgil, then maybe it might be someone that's like, I gotta resurrect Virgil. I need the arm back to resurrect Virgil, because he's Michelangelo.
You think it'll be just like that weird thing where it's like, oh, we're an offshoot thing, kind of like how in Advent Children, there's the three people who were like, we're all Sephiroth in a sense. Like, what was their deal again? Do you remember?
They were
clones of Sephiroth?
Advent Children. Yeah, they were other things that were made using Genova cells, and so they were like part of Sephiroth's like DNA or something. And so it was like they were gonna combine themselves. They had like Sephiroth's head or something, if I remember correctly, and they like combined their DNA with like Sephiroth's head or some bullshit, and then that's how they resurrected Sephiroth. It was really dumb because remember there's the scene where they open up the box and it has Sephiroth's head in it and it's all full of like the goop and the gooey juice of like the Genova cells or whatever. Yeah, man, fuck Advent Children. That fight is so cool. The fight between Cloud and Sephiroth, it's so cool.
You're not gonna get a not cool fight with them, and I'd be a little bit mad if you did. I still don't like how super popular they are when I like Kefka way more than Sephiroth. But Kefka gets no fucking play outside the city.
Yeah.
What were we talking about before that? Oh, Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry 5, yeah. So anyway, it looks incredible. The gameplay they showed looks so fucking good. Like graphics wise and gameplay wise, it looks so much fun. Did you see I think it was Polygon was complaining about how there was no cool music in the game.
What?
Yeah. So they're playing it, and like the music doesn't have as much of a punch as the old Devil May Cry games. But remember, if you remember, from a couple weeks ago, Itsuno said that the game has a system where the music gets more and more hype and amped up the higher your rank is. So it just meant that they didn't get their rank high enough to activate the music.
They're actually Polygon proven bad at video games.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of footage of people playing where they're getting like S ranks and stuff, and the music is fucking like hype as shit. And so it just means that Polygon they just didn't get up the style meter enough.
How many times have they been proven bad at games? Were they also the ones that made all that shit about Cuphead being too hard?
I think don't remember. I can't, but I think that was Polygon.
I need to look
I
up.
know
Like,
Polygon was also the people that had that embarrassing Doom 2016 preview where it looked like the guy playing had never played a first-person shooter in his entire life.
oh, I need to go back and look that up because
And
I'm
it
gonna look this up in
also
a second
had-
while we're talking. Because there's the two things I was gonna mention. I'll let you get your point. It's before I forget about this while I'm looking it up. Was the one about like the person who couldn't get past the just jump and dash part of the tutorial for Cuphead, like, and it was like 20 minutes of him trying to do that and he couldn't, and the other person being like, "This game's too hard to be inclusive to people," and like a lot of people came out and was like, "No, you guys have just proven you're bad at video games." Fucking. But yeah, sorry. Continue on with the thing you're gonna mention.
Yeah, they were also the people that had that embarrassing Breath of the Wild preview.
Oh, what do they do with that?
It has one of my favorite clips of all time, where it's like he's like gonna go hit like a Moglin or whatever, and he wants to throw a bomb at it, so he takes out the bomb, right? And then instead of throwing the bomb at the Moblin, he drops it on the ground and it starts to roll away. And he doesn't know what to do, so he swings the sword at the air, and then he tries to run towards the enemy, and the bomb's rolling towards it, and then he presses the button to blow the bomb up, and he blows himself up and does nothing to the Moblin. It's so fucking funny.
Okay, I found the two clips from them, the two quotes from two different articles posted a day apart. The first one, done October 4th, is when is exclusion a valid design choice? And then the second one is Cuphead is hard but fair until it isn't.
Those are some big yikes in all of those statements that you're telling me. Nah, that's game's too hard. I can't beat it.
Yeah, okay, I made sure. Yeah, it's all Polygon. Journalist outdoes Polygon at suckage. Wait, no, hold on. Outdoes Polygon. Who the fuck is this? Yeah. Taking 26 minutes for Cuphead. Who the fuck was? I don't know who did this. But yeah, I guess we'll move on. I'll keep trying to find it. But yeah. Next, Dark Souls trilogy announced. So get fucked, Dark Souls fans who just got Dark Souls 1 remastered, and people on the Switch who are still waiting with bated breath. Now there's just all 3 games coming in one package.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully people that have the Dark Souls 1 remaster can get like discounts on it or something. That would be nice. But Bandai's gonna
I don't think they'll do that.
Bandai's gonna Bandai, so probably not.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like that shit is just, it's baffling to me. Of like, we're announcing this thing after a bunch of people already bought the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty not great. Bad timing on their part. Bandai's been on a roll with this shit, with the Dragon Ball season pass and the Tekken shit, right?
Wait, what about the season pass?
For Dragon Ball?
Yeah, what specifically?
Oh, it was people were upset. People were upset about them announcing the Dragon Ball season pass so close to launch. So they're like, we're gonna the 8 characters in it, and be like, they're just gonna cut them out of the base roster kind of deal, right?
I mean, I get it, but like, cause like, no fighting game is gonna not have like post-launch DLC. It's just a bad look to announce it as early as they did.
To launch, yeah. Yeah, that was, and this. I still get like slightly triggered when people complain about fighting games with DLC, and I'm like, man, no one. These games
like,
not that profitable, my dude.
Like these are fighting games is the genre of game that like I feel like is the most has a community that's the most comfortable with there being DLC, because like you're getting stuff over a long period of time versus like, I don't know, versus an Uncharted. Like you get Uncharted 4, that's the package deal. There's not really much you need to add to that. I mean, maybe there will be some like post-game DLC thing for
I just remember Jim Sterling had put up a video this week complaining about Tira in Soul Calibur 6 being DLC.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, sure, it kind of sucks that she's DLC, but he kept talking about how she was a returning character, so obviously she's cut from the roster. And I'm like, yeah, but this is like a whole new engine and new mechanics, and there's new character models. Like this, they aren't just like taking fucking her model from Soul Calibur 5 and just pouring it over to this. You're gonna have to redesign her character to fit these new mechanics. So it's not like, you know, as simple as like, oh yeah, fucking Makoto was in Street Fighter 4. Why isn't she in Street Fighter 5? Fuck you. It's way more complicated than that.
Yeah, I guess I understand this argument from the sense of being like, if this is a returning character from the series, like, why is it someone like I get it in a sense, but I also don't. But he does mention in that video that, like, I don't play fighting games, so, you know, it's not something I've really kept in the realm of knowledge for.
Yeah.
It's just triggering me. I was watching that 26-minute thing and looking for, like, anything that might have said on the video, like, where he was from. It's bad. That shit triggered me a bit. This one I'll let you talk about more than me, because I've never actually played the series. But yeah, Shenmue 3 release date is August 27th of next year.
This is the game that I still don't believe actually exists.
Shenmue 3?
Yeah, I don't believe that it's real, because they still haven't shown much of anything from it, aside from some, you know, I didn't back it on Kickstarter. I'm glad that I didn't, because this is feeling like, to me in my brain, like Mighty Number 9 kind of bullshit.
No.
Yeah, the Kickstarter itself was kind of a shit show in how it was run. I don't really have very much faith for this project.
What do you have more faith in? That this exists, or the 3DS and Vita versions of Mighty Number 9 exist?
Wait, what? Say again?
I said, what do you have more confidence in? That Shenmue 3 exists, or that the Vita version and 3DS versions of Mighty Number 9 exist?
Those are not real. That was a lie they told people. This is like, Vita version definitely not coming out. That's for sure a lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vita's dead forever.
Oh, speaking before we go further, because we didn't mention it, yeah, on top of Bloodstain being delayed, Vita version canceled, and they flat out said it was Sony's idea for that. It was like, they're discontinuing it, so
yes, yeah. Sony said that it was a dead console, so that people have to believe in that. Sony said time was done. Vita no longer means life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really just wanted to mention this, because I don't believe that this release date is real. I think this game is not going to come out. I feel bad for everybody that donated large amounts of money on it on Kickstarter. I think it's going to be a disaster. And I would love to be proven wrong, because Shenmue is a cool franchise that does some cool things. But I have no faith in this game at all.
So, I mean, you mentioned it doing cool things, and like I said, I haven't played the series, but I heard there was issues with Shenmue 1 and 2. I don't know if you want to elaborate on those, because like I know literally nothing about them.
Okay, so the Shenmue 1 and 2 are really weird. I really only know that much about Shenmue 1. I never played Shenmue 2. But Shenmue 1, it was basically, the game was supposed to be this really in-depth, like, recreation of a small Japanese town. And so the story was kind of like, oh yeah, I gotta get revenge, beat up this guy, I gotta kill this dude. And so that was like the hang up of the story of like this your main character. But this game was really about like creating a living environment of this location. So we spent a lot of time in the game doing fucking errands for people, working part-time jobs, just talking to people. And the game also really adhered to its making people's schedules make sense in their own time. So there are times when it's like, you know, go to this shop to talk to this guy, but the shop is only open from like 9 to 5. So if it's past 5 o'clock, then, you know, you can't talk to him. But if you do certain actions during the day, like if you go work at the dock with the forklift to make some money or whatever, then you won't be able to like talk to the dude because you have to wait till tomorrow and things like that. So it's kind of some people get kind of annoyed playing it because it's like I want to play the video game, and I have to wait, physically kill time doing some menial task, playing some mini game or whatever, until I'm allowed to talk to this person. And then they might be like, oh yeah, talk to them tomorrow night. You're like, well, now I have to wait till tomorrow night before I can do anything. And then, yeah. So it's very weird, and it's very much like a prototype video game that was kind of turned into a good video game when Yakuza came out. Because the Shenmue series is the prototype blueprint for Yakuza series, and those games are great. So yeah, that's really, if you're interested in Shenmue and you haven't played Yakuza and you want to know what that game is like but good, play Yakuza 0. Yeah.
All right, and I had nothing to say on it because like it's a series that I know literally nothing about. I played I can't even say I fully played Yakuza 0. I got like 4 chapters left. Just so much stuff's been coming out I wanted to play, and like I'm so far in, but I just can never commit. Like I'll play a little bit of it. I was like, oh, that's right, I'm broke. I need to go do something, or like I don't know, something will happen, and it'll make me think about something else. And I'm like, I want to play this instead. Like I actually, because I didn't care, and I was like, I want to play this now because I'm hyped for Doom Eternal. I just got Doom, which is only $20, stupidly cheap. I usually see games that are like a couple that are like 2 years old, still staying around the $50, $40 mark. But yeah, like I actually need to spend the time to go back there. But if you're saying it's similar, but just Yakuza is better, then I don't see myself checking out Shenmue. All right, and with that being said, that's that's all we have for news. And we will be going into the Walk On Girl Spoilercast. So we'll just generally be talking about everything in relation to that, and a bit about, what was it, Tatami Galaxy?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'll be asking Skylar, who knows everything about both of these.
I have seen these things multiple times.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
so if you don't want to be spoiled on that, then you can leave here. I thank you for listening to DADCast. We'll be back once again sometime next week, hopefully, as long as everything works out, but we're trying to keep it weekly. And if you subscribe to our channel, which I think is just called, do you actually know the name of the channel? James handles all that shit, so I don't pay attention to it.
It's official DADCast? I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're on top of that shit.
Yeah, I probably should have thought about that before just asking you.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah. Okay, so it's
hype. We'll add it in. We'll cut it. Add it in post.
James, I just found it. It's just DADCast. DADCast is the name of it. We have no subscribers there, but outside of the traditional stuff, if you show up, hopefully sometime next week, if not the week after, we'll start branching out on the stuff we're doing. Like I'm gonna have a little, not even really review, but kind of like joking review, just generally talking about the stuff in the series. For anyone who might be interested, but I'll be talking about My Hero Academia, or Academia Vigilantes. And hopefully we'll get some content from both George and Skylar as well. But
yeah,
if you're not here for the Spoilercast, then enjoy the rest of your day. And if you are, Skylar, mark out about Masaki Yuasa.
Masaki Yuasa is my big favorite anime man. He's really cool.
Is he actually your favorite?
Yes, he is. I've seen everything he's directed except for the episode of Adventure Time and Kimono Zume. I have not seen that.
Okay. I didn't actually know who your favorite was. Like, I just assumed it was like someone I had never heard of because you're into that like deep weeb shit.
Yeah, my favorite it's either him or Kunihiko Ikuhara, who did like Penguin Drum and Utena. Yeah, so I mean, This movie's great. Walk on Girl's great. It's so Walk on Girl's grew nuts to me because it came out. It's one of the first projects that was created for Masaki Yuasa's new studio. Because he used to work at Madhouse and then he left to form his own studio, called Science Saru, and last year 2017 they put out their first suite of things, and so they put out 2 movies in 2017 and also put out Devilman Crybaby in January of this year. So he directed 2 movies and a show during the same time period, which is fucking crazy. And all of them are good. Lou Over the Wall is good. Devilman Crybaby is great, and Walk On Girl is fantastic.
You've been talking about Lou Over the Wall. I need to check in that sometime.
It's pretty good. It's not my favorite thing he's done, but I still like. It's still good. I like it a lot.
What is your favorite thing that he's done?
Ping Pong is my favorite.
Yeah. I can't fight that. That's really good.
Yeah, it's Ping Pong, and then Tommy Galaxy, and then Walk On Girl, actually. And then
just added. I think I mentioned this to you before, but I just added Tommy Galaxy to my queue because I saw it's on Crunchyroll. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It's only 11 episodes too, so it's shorter than I expect.
Pretty short, yeah. I think he mostly does short shows. Like I think Kaiba is the only one that's. Is Kaiba 12? I forget. I don't know. Kaiba's pretty good too.
Even if it's 12, it's still pretty short. It's like one season.
Yeah,
I'm just used
one
to
season, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
So go into the movie, girl who just wants to throw herself into the adult world.
She wants to live life, see life, breathe it all in. It's great. Yeah.
Now, for you, like, because I went into this movie super blind. I actually saw it with my girlfriend. We went to see it in theaters the other day. And like, I'm a fan of like when they just do it with the animation, like just having some fun. Like, what was do you remember the name of that dance they did when they like
the dance of the sophists?
Yeah.
It was just literally a thing where it's just like a dumb joke where they go to like this party and like it's like a fucking like debate club or some bullshit for a college, and they're throwing a go away party for this guy.
Yeah, because he's going to another country because the girl he loved.
Yeah, he's going to school in London because the girl that he loved is marrying another guy. And he was like kept trying to come up with like a bullshit like logical reason why women shouldn't marry men that they love.
It said they should marry people that they don't really know much about because there's very little expectations and things can go up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's such nonsense. I love it.
They do this dumb dance, and then they like basically leave that party and go to like a different party. It's like all old people.
That's just the entire thing. They were like, because when she meets them, Otome, like when she meets like the other two characters, like it's like, all right, well, you guys said something about drinks, but I don't have any money. And then one of them's like, I haven't had money in years. Let's go get some drinks. And it's just them crashing parties and drinking.
Yeah, it's super good. There are some things about the G Kids. So I want to talk a little bit about the translation because I watched the first time I saw it. It was a fan sub, and then I saw this official sub thing. And what was interesting to me is there are some things about this translation that I liked better than the fan sub that I watched, but there are some other things that I thought that were weird. Like I thought that overall some of the dialogue was kind of clunkily translated a little bit, like it was kind of awkward, but it was mostly fine. I really liked that they kept the original joke with his plan. So remember from the very beginning of the movie, he talks about his plan to woo
always be around her. What was the actual acronym?
It was so the acronym. It was appear before her often, but they translated it as AHO, which is aho, which means idiot in Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. In the fan sub I watched it, I forget what the acronym stood for, but it was like SEE, so C, which isn't the same. It's not a joke anymore. Yeah. So that was nice. But like there's some things that were on screen text that weren't translated. Like for some reason they didn't translate the clocks. So remember in the scene where they go into with all the old people. And there's the joke with like their watches.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, so it's easier if you could read the text. If you look at like Otome's watch, it's just a normal watch where it's minutes and hours, and then when it cut to fucking the dude with the giant chain, his name I always forget, and Hanukkah, is that his girlfriend's name? I can't remember.
That's his girlfriend?
Yeah, they're dating.
Okay, I thought they were just really close.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're a couple. And theirs was days and hours instead of minutes and hours, and then the old people it was years and months. Yeah, so you look at their watches and they're going they're going really fast. Like that was the joke there, was that they're measuring time differently. And they do that a couple of times like, at the end of the movie with
like when they get to I can't remember his name, but the boss guy basically.
Ruhako.
Okay.
Yeah, Rihako, something like that. So yeah, it's a really hard movie to describe the plot of, because it's basically written. The book was written. I don't believe it was written like as the story took place over the course of one night. It was like an omnibus type deal.
Yeah.
Every single act was a different season of the year.
Yeah, so after the movie, because you stay there for the
after
credits interview, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because he mentioned the original writer was like, I wanted to do this on one night, but I couldn't, so he just did that. And then Masaki Yuasa was basically like, let me try and keep it as true to what he originally wanted as possible. And that's why he did have it all in one night.
He's also like, I am making a movie, so I can't do it like it would have been in a show, where I could have each section be clearly like differentiated from each other. Like as far as like, this is the end of this act. He was like, it wouldn't work as well, so I'll just do it like this, and I'll try to make it into one story overall.
One pretty cool. Very small detail I want to note that I loved is just the whole, like, you see it at first at the very beginning. She does it like 2 times, maybe 3. I only believe 2 though. Where at the very beginning you see her at a vending machine, and then she just starts moving her arms around like a train, and like putting herself up where she wants to walk, and then just walking forward. I was like, that's
in a straight line.
Cute as shit. I love that.
It's super cute. It's also like, remember the very first thing in the movie is they're eating like I think escargot out of like a little tray, and the very first thing is it makes like train noises because it's shaped like a train's wheel. And they actually do that a lot in the movie, where there's like it's like train symbolism everywhere. Because she does that because she read this book as a child about it, like it's basically the little train that could. Basically, and she was like really inspired by that book, so she just does shit.
It's really cool. I really like her a lot for that.
Yeah, it's fucking precious, blessed character.
Who's in college?
Yes.
Finally.
Fucking it's this author, right? He just doesn't fuck with the high school age kids. Fuck that shit.
Finally.
Also takes place during college. Summer Galaxy is a very fucking like me IRL series.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, so this movie is kind of like, the bullshit with like forming relationships from a Japanese perspective, about how people are weird about like how it is to form connections with people, and how there's always it's got to be so complicated. It doesn't have to be. Tatami Galaxy is kind of about that, but it's more about how everyone's too afraid to make decisions and to actually take opportunities because they think that it might be a bad idea. So the plot of Tatami Galaxy is that the main character is too afraid to make big life-altering decisions, and so he keeps wasting his life. He keeps wasting his college years and accomplishing nothing and becoming miserable. And then at the end, he realizes that he's made no progress and missed every opportunity he's been given, and time then rewinds back to his first year in high school or in college so he can try it again.
Is that a spoiler, or is that how it starts?
That is how it starts.
Okay,
so
I was like, I just told you I was about to read this or watch this.
Every episode is him joining a different club in college to see how that would affect his college life.
Okay.
The people that he meets because of what club he joins, things like that. That's like the basic premise of the show that happens in episode 1. It's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's super like scarily. It's like the whole show is the one scene from near the end where Senpai is like freaking out about how, like, you know, he's in college and he's a senior, and he's, you know, if he goes to grad school and he's just putting off looking for a job for a couple of more years, and how he doesn't know like what he's doing with his life or if he's wasting his time. It's like the whole show is just that scene.
Okay. Something just came to mind now. I remember I messaged you, and I said I have 2 questions, and I asked you one being the thing about Tatami Galaxy, like after I watched the movie. I completely forgot to ask you the second question, which I'll just ask here, because I feel like it's something that you may know.
Sure.
So at the end, like in the 4th of the stories, you see all his little inner hymns and like them arguing about stuff, and like that part I get. That's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
What was the symbolism or the reference with the cowboys?
Oh, no, you did ask me this, but I think you read my
Did I ask you that, or did I
Yeah, the Cowboys. Okay, so the Cowboys is in Tatami Galaxy too, and the Cowboy's name is Johnny. Oh no, you asked me. Someone else asked me this. The Cowboy's name is Johnny, and I'm 98% sure that it's his penis. Like, it's because the deal with Tatami Galaxy is that he would just get super hyped, like, yeah, dude, you could get fucking laid. You could get fucking laid right now. And then he's like, no, that would be bad.
So
yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing that would like be knowledge I'd have if I watched Tatami Galaxy first.
Yeah, because in the movie they don't name him. They don't say he would.
He just shows up and they're like, "Don't let him in." I was like, "What?" Okay.
In Tatami Galaxy, there's a bunch of scenes where like, the Johnny the cowboy is in his little rodeo pen with his horse, and he's getting hype about the prospect of getting laid, and he's like talking to us like, "My Johnny." Yeah.
That was so confusing to me. I was like, what is this guy's deal? I guess that explains why all the inner hymns became like fucking horn dogs.
Horn dogs, yeah, when the Johnnies got in, yeah. Yeah. And so I think, and so like you can kind of make the leap a little bit by watching the movie, because they have like the giant battering ram. They're like, let us in. And they're talking about.
Well, yeah, I knew they wanted to be let in. I just didn't know who they were or what their purpose was. Because like the Shadow Sensei, that is easy enough. You see them all talking to each other and arguing, basically about like closing them out, and like, cause like, oh, this sucks. Oh, we shouldn't, you know, and all these like internal thoughts about
that
like,
scene
basically
is really
negative
good,
thoughts.
By the way, I like that scene.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. Like that all made sense and painted a perfect picture. But you see this cowboy a couple of times, and I'm like, okay. And then you see the Cowboys trying to break in, and everyone's like, fucking stop them now. I'm like, are they good guys? Or what? Where do they get? Okay, they're breaking in, and everyone seems like they're, what's happening? And then at the end, where there's just the giant cowboy, and she's like trying to fly to him, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah. The Cowboys. So there's exactly 2 scenes in the movie that I think don't make sense if you haven't seen Tatami Galaxy. That's one of them. I think the Johnnies are hard to understand if you haven't seen Tatami Galaxy, because that like explicitly explains the symbolism to you. But the other one is, if you remember, it's the first. Okay, so it fucks me up. In this version, they translated the play as, what was it? It was like something about
cast,
Monte Cristo. Or
yeah,
like
kind of Monte Cristo, gorilla something.
Something like that, yeah. In the stuff ends up I watched, they just called it the Eccentric King, which is way easier to remember. Yeah. And so the very first play of that, where it's the making fun of the cinema club president, and it just throws all this, it just throws so much shit at you, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's a character from Tatami Galaxy, where he's the fun club president, and they make fun of him because he's in love with a sex doll. And some other shit they just say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when she picks up like the big doll, she's like, "Yeah, you're a dumb cowdy. You can't even fall in love with a real person." And then
I was confused because I was like, "Are these just mobile roast sessions happening?" I didn't understand at first.
They are, yes. That's what they said. They said that they were running hate campaigns on people on staff or at the school. So that was one where that scene is like almost nonsense if you haven't seen Atomic Galaxy, because it's just a prolonged joke in reference to a character, in reference to character details about a character you would only know if you'd seen that show.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's that. Everything else though is like is fine. Like the Tengu, sorry, the Tengu guy and his girlfriend are both into Atomic Galaxy as well.
Yeah, I saw him and Sensei. When like I just thought they were like, oh, maybe it had similarities. I didn't know they thought
Senpai is not in it. The
male
not
the same main character?
No, he's it's the same. Okay, so they both have the same deal where the main character is unnamed. In this movie, everyone calls him Senpai, and in Atomic Galaxy, they just he's not named, so people just call him Watashi, which means I. Yeah. So yeah, they look very similar, but the idea I think is supposed to be that it's just like the average everyman, like could be anybody kind of guy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The most self-insert of self-inserts.
Yeah, but like self-insert because of like for the purpose of like they want you to apply this to yourself to see like why that mentality is wrong and how you should change your way of thinking, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both kind of about like similar problems people in Japan have with communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they do look very similar, but I think.
Yeah, I thought they were the same person.
Yeah, they're not the same person. They're both monochrome white guys with glasses and curly hair, so I don't blame you.
Well,
yeah.
it also wasn't helped by I also forget the guy's name with the big chin. The very first thing I saw when I just looked at a clip of Tatami Galaxy just to look at it had those two next to each other sitting in each other. So like that right there, especially right after seeing Walk On Girl, told me like this is the same thing. These are the same people. So that didn't help.
Yeah, there's actually a joke in Atomic Galaxy where the main character is reading Walk On Girl, like the book. And someone's making fun of him for reading like sappy romance novels. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, like this movie's, I mean, this movie's hard to like have like a traditional spoiler cast about, just because it's just like, and then this insane bullshit happened, and that caused this other insane bullshit to happen.
The spoiler cast thing isn't so much like us talking like, I mean, yeah, there's stuff that like if you didn't know in the movie, like, okay, now I at least know there's some weird thing with cowboys that is really metaphor for his penis. But like, it's mostly just a reason for us to talk about a thing.
Oh yeah, dude,
Because I really, really, really like. I didn't know what I was gonna get going in, and I don't know about you. I'll ask you about yours after I give mine. But like the part of the movie where I was already interested at the beginning. Like I really liked his animation style. But the part where I'm like, I really like this movie was when she was giving the final play. Like with just everything that was happening in the final play between
that scene is
her going along with it,
so
Sensei just dropping in, Dawn underwear just keep on going, then the like fucking cross-dresser come, like all of that happening together. Was like, yeah, a lot's happened. I love this movie.
Oh, that was another thing that about the translation I didn't like. Was they changed the translation of koi, like koi fish, to carp, which changed the pun at the end when the koi fish fall on Dawn underwear and the director's heads. Because the joke there is that they both get hit in the head with koi fish, and koi also means love in Japanese. So that was the joke with that scene, was that he decides that he's falling in love with the director because it must be fate, because the koi fish hit them in the head at the same time, right?
Okay, I can get that. I feel like they can pass that off though, only because like the reason he mentioned he fell in love with I can't remember the director's name.
Yeah, I think they just called him school festival director This
All
was
right, so yeah, the reason he fell in love with him was because, well, one, he thought it was a girl, but two, the apples hitting at the same time. So
yeah,
if you don't know, I mean, yeah, you kind of miss the whole like joke about it with the koi for love.
yeah, because
but
it's just that pun that you miss, basically.
yeah, so I mean that I feel like that works anyway. I do love how they both made it seem like they were going to commit to it, and they were like, please let the music play, something happen, please.
Yeah. That was good. They're both like, fuck, we gotta commit to this bit. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, but for you, what was the moment you were like, okay, I really like this movie now?
For me, it was the whole first sequence with the bar hopping and the main character getting his pants stolen by that guy, and then the guy's like, I collect rare ancient Japanese porn. And then, I gotta sell my ancient Japanese porn collection to this fucking Yakuza boss because I owe money. And then, like, the whole first 20 minutes of the movie are just so
fucking
strong.
Bonkers.
Yeah, it starts off relatively normal. They're at a fucking, like, wedding reception for one of their classmates. And then it just gets fucking crazy, like, so fast, and it's so fun. The pace is so strong.
So the pace actually threw me off at first because, like, even though they didn't make a huge deal out of it, there was the her drinking thing, and there was basically mini arcs in that, and I was like, that was like 20 minutes. This isn't over, is it? What the fuck? That was the conclusion. What was that?
Yeah, because it feels like the movie should end 20 minutes in, where she does the drinking contest with the mob boss, and you're like, this is like the final boss of the movie. What's happening? We're like not even 20 minutes in.
Yeah, like that's what I legitimately thought. I was like, huh, okay.
So
the next thing I saw, I was like, that's resolved. Is this over? Was this like short film? I just didn't know.
Yeah, so I was
Seinfeld.
Pretty much. So I was but it was a thing where I'm like incredibly biased by like being already a huge fan of this director coming in. Like when I saw Walk On Girl the first time, I'd already seen Sonic Galaxy, I'd seen Ping Pong, I'd seen Kaiba, and I'd seen Mind Game. So I was like,
I still want to see Mind Games.
in.
How is that?
Mind Game is really fucking good, and it's also like I think it's his most out there thing he's ever made, which is kind of saying something, I guess. But it's like really kind of out there, but it's fantastic.
Is it an original or does it have a source?
Yeah, it's original. I think it's.
Oh shit! Okay, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I think it's that, Kimono Tsume, and Kaiba are the three things he's done that are original. Everything else is adaptations. I think actually no, he had a Kickstarter OVA. That's original, I think. That's about wrestling. You should watch that. It's about wrestling, so you probably like that also. I haven't seen that either.
I need to look at the only wrestling anime thing I know. Well, I mean, there's a couple. I can't even say the only.
Tiger Mask.
There's Tiger Mask, and then Who Wants to Be the World's Strongest or something like that. With the female wrestlers, like the one that was like an idol, one of the best idols in Japan, and she's like, I'm done with this. I want to be a fucking wrestler. I want to prove I'm strong, and she becomes a pro wrestler.
That's okay.
I don't know if it's good. I remember liking the premise of like, I want to be an idol, screw everything else. And because she's like, I want to wrestle. Wrestling's so fun. I can be good at it. And then the person who takes it too seriously is like, fuck you. You don't know shit about no wrestling. And I don't remember. I remember hearing a couple of characters that intrigued me enough, but I don't want to go into it and it be just ecchi trash. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try and paint train it with Stewie one day.
The wrestling thing is called Kick Heart, and it was Kickstarter. Because it was. I think he called it like that because it was a Kickstarter project. And it's about a pro wrestler that falls in love with a nun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
The only things I've seen from him were, Ping Pong and Devilman.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd be willing to check out more stuff from him because I really like his unique style, and it still triggers me. The people who are talking about like, oh, this isn't a unique style. This is just bad art. Just get over yourselves. Like,
yeah. The comments about Ping Pong make me want to die.
See, I saw comments on Devilman, but I did not see anything on Ping Pong.
No, you look up your Ping Pong reviews. Like the good amount of them are gonna be like, this show is animated so bad. Hey, animation is so poor. I'm like, man, please stop insisting. um, yeah. And Mind Game, I think, is the coolest version of his art style I think that I've seen, because it's just so fucking odd. There are like bits where it does like the like almost like classic Cartoon Network, like where they do like the fucking like photos of real people superimposed over the animation, and they're like paper cutouts that are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's some so just like it just goes so nuts with its visual style, and it's just all over the place, and it's beautiful movie. It looks amazing. It activates my almond something fierce.
Is it like unique as in like I haven't seen it yet, I've heard good things. What was it? Tekken Concrete? Like I don't remember the name of it.
Tekken Concrete is consistent. And that art style is very good. It has like some of the coolest backgrounds I've ever seen in anything, and it has this really, really like innovative use of CG. And the movie looks really good, but the art style is consistent over the whole movie. The thing with Mind Game is that the art style will sometimes just completely change given the scene and the context of the scene. Sometimes it'll change in between shots. Or just be like, now it's this for like 1 second, and you're like, what? Sometimes the main character just becomes a picture of Masaki Yuasa. It's pretty sick. The movie looks really good. And it's like the story is pretty relatable as well. I like it. It's just kind of like about living your life. It's basically like a show about or a movie. That's about like the different paths your life could take. It's all about like how you apply yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It's got a nice message. I like it.
Okay, I'll check it out at some point. Oh yeah, the only thing I could say, which I mean, nothing against the director for it because it has nothing to do with him, but like I really liked Walk On Girl, so I was like, let me go look at how much this costs. Explain, please, because like. I could only find it from third-party sellers, and it was like $100 and something. Did it have a very limited print?
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't been released in this region yet.
That's why.
Yeah, it very recently got a Blu release in the UK, but it hasn't actually been licensed and released in this region. So I think that version is like the crazy Japanese special edition. That would explain a lot. Yeah.
And also Tatami Galaxy. I just looked up for Yucks to see how much it was. That was also a hard no.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think that's been licensed either. I mean, Funimation has this on their thing, but I don't think if Funimation has it, they're gonna dub it. Probably that's like their deal.
When they're dubbing company, it'd be surprising if they didn't.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to dub Tatami Galaxy because that would be rough.
Really?
Yeah. The one disclaimer I always have to give to people when watching Tatami Galaxy is that it will test your ability to speed read.
Oh, fuck! Is it like that?
Because the main character has when he's talking, it's fine, but he's like a neurotic type character, and the show has really long like bits of his inner monologue, and when his inner monologue, he talks really fucking fast. Like he's like a speed talker, so the subs have to go fast to keep up with his dialogue.
Shit.
Yeah.
So is it this? I'm not gonna say it's bad. Maybe I just need to work on it a bit more. But I was kind of jarred by watching the first episode of Bakemonogatari when because it will have things not specifically like it's like they're talking fast because they're not. Yeah, but stuff will jump up for like 2 seconds and it'll be a block of information and then go away.
Yeah, like 2 frames.
Yes.
Don't worry about that shit. That's just okay. So Bakemonogatari.
So is it that bad? Or no?
No, it's not because so that shit in Bakemonogatari, you're not supposed to be able to read it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's so what the text is on screen is it's lines from the light novel that are part of that scene that they're adapting, and it's in reference to specifically the director Tatsuya Oishi is heavily inspired by like French New Wave directors. Specifically Jean-Luc Godard, and Jean-Luc Godard would do the same shit where he'd have like really short like inner titles pop up on screen for a couple seconds. There'll be like colors, like fake missing frames, and like lines of text on screen and stuff. And so
Mhm.
he's like in referencing that visual style. And you're supposed to be able to read like 1 or 2 words and kind of get the gist of what it's saying, but you're not really supposed to be able to read the whole thing.
See, I didn't have that knowledge, so anytime that happened, I would just go back and pause. I'm like, what
but
the fuck?
go back and
I'm not
pause it,
slow
yeah.
reading or anything, but that's bonkers. They expect that of me. But okay.
It's only Bakemonogatari that does it like that. The other seasons they'll have that, but it'll be on screen for like they'll have it. So like Nisei does it, but it's less frequent. And it doesn't matter as much. And by the time you get to like Owari Monogatari, it'll be like instead of flashing like really fast, it'll actually be like typeset. It's like Owari Monogatari does it in a way where it's like sheets of paper that'll like have lines. It'll slide around, so like different lines so you can read it correctly. It's just the way it's presented is very different.
Now, I know this is a spoiler cast for Walk On Girl, but I do have to ask, for Monogatari, is it like completed or is it still coming out? Because I know there's so many seasons.
It's still coming out. There's a new season coming out late this year or early next year. I can't remember. It's Zoku Owari Monogatari, which is the dumbest name ever, because Owari Monogatari, it literally means the end story, the final story. Zoku Owari Monogatari means the more final story.
Oh my god.
And then there's more books after this anyway, so it's not the final one at all.
Is it like a manga series? Is it a light novel series when you say books?
It's light novels. But it's like old school light novels. Like it's from like the era of light novels when like Boogie Pop and like Haruhi and like that shit was coming out. So it's like before like new school light novels where like anyone and their mom could get published. And he's like Nisio Isin is one of the like OG like big dick light novel authors from back in the times when like the medium was becoming popular. Yeah, he has a bunch of series that are pretty okay. He's like one of the most self-indulgent authors I've ever read. He is his style, and he's gonna fucking do his thing, and you either like it or you don't.
Okay. I like to try and get back to the main thing, because we could probably, like, I don't have that much knowledge on that, so this isn't gonna be like, Monogatari. Like, I'll get into that series probably within the next couple weeks. It's just I have other things I'm trying to finish out.
On your own.
But for Walk On Girl, because I mean, there's not too much that we could really like you mentioned. There's just so much happening at such a high rate.
Yeah, the pacing is just so fast. It's like 4 smaller movies that have all been compressed into one movie.
All right, so that was actually gonna be what I was gonna ask you. If you had to rank from favorite to least favorite of the 4 stories, 1, 2, 3, 4, favorite to least by number.
So my favorite is probably
by number. You can just say what it is.
The Gorilla Play one.
Yes, that is my favorite too.
And then it's the final one where she goes to see everyone who's sick. And then it's the first one, and then it's the book fair.
Oh, you don't like the used book fair?
I know I do like it. It's just I have to. Something has to be last. So it's
fair
just
enough.
Like, yeah.
For me, it's the Gorilla Plays. Then it's very tight between the first one and the third one.
Wait, the third one is the Plays though.
Or not the third. Wait.
Because it goes bar hopping, and then it does book fair.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it does plays, and then it does.
I stopped. I was like, wait a second. Am I getting these backwards in my head? Yeah. So it's the plays. I think after the plays is going to be the drinking. After the drink is the used books, and last is like the final part. And the only reason, not even because it's bad, is because until now I just didn't get the Cowboys. It looked good, but there was just too much I didn't understand that was happening.
When the movie ended, the guy that was sitting next to me was like, I was following it up until the Cowboys showed up, and I was like, really fucking funny.
Yeah. So I mean, once again, it wasn't because I was like, I think I was sitting next to my girlfriend. I was like, I don't get that bit, but it was animated well and it was entertaining, so I like it.
I really like that at the end. It kind of implies that like that whole scene. Well, because like obviously like
It's a fever dream.
yeah, it was like sort of like it was like a visual representation of the scene that happens immediately after that, where she comes over to visit and he's like a normal ass dude, and he's just like, hey man, want to go buy a book later?
And some coffee first.
Yeah,
He's
want to get some coffee.
And then she's walking down the street and she's like, holy shit, is this a date? And he's like, yeah, I like it. Go both of you.
Senpai smooth AF.
I mean, his commitment to like always showing up in front of her is only beaten out by the commitment of a man who decides not to change his underwear for love. Which is disgusting.
That's I like Don underwear. I think is pretty fucking funny, but I just like that they call him in Japanese. They call him Pantsu Obansho, which is so good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, I didn't know what was gonna happen with this, but I'm glad that literally everyone they showed got like at least some amount of time to matter. I did feel really bad for the girl who helped him out with the plays when she first was like, "I love you, please look at me." And he was like, "Doesn't matter if he's a dude. The apple fell on him." I'm like, no.
I there's a couple of jokes in that scene that just hit me so hard, where she's just like the thing where he's like, if you'll have me, I guess I can be a girl. And during the thing where he's like, yeah, there's that. And then also with the director girl is like, if you just want a beautiful woman, I'll consider cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so strong.
Like that, I remember, like I was like, this has my heart. The thing that got me like the most probably in the entire movie was like when Sensei almost kissed her and he fell to the floor, and then the fucking Dawn underwear is like, just ignore that. That wasn't scripted.
She comes just jumping on stage and that whole scene is made so much better because they're like literally singing all of the jokes. Like it's like fucking show tunes, and it's great. I also want to point out that I love that. So the Otome is voiced by Kana Hanazawa. I probably fucked up her name. I always mix up I always forget if it's Kana Hanazawa or Hana Kanazawa. It fucks me up, like which one comes first.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's like, super prolific voice actress, and also she's a singer in real life. She sings songs. So I thought it was really funny that she's like they intentionally make jokes about how she's a shitty singer when she does the play songs, and then, like she actually can sing super well in real life. They just told her to fucking ham it up super hard for those play sequences. Yeah, dude.
Oh man, what do you think about the like, all right, I'm super rich, y'all want books, eat this hot bullshit?
Yeah. See, that thing makes me really hungry.
It makes me like I'd be like, oh man, look at how much their lips are swelling. It's just straight up fire food. You're eating food from the depths of hell right at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, I fucking love spicy food. So I
like spicy, but there's a limit.
It makes me, I'm a spice fiend. So I was looking at that scene, it makes me really hungry. Because there's like, look at this gyoza, it's so hot. Yeah, look at this, like the nabe or whatever. It just looked delicious. It just looked so tasty. I just wanted it. Also because it's like fucking like comically huge, like chunks of fish. Yeah.
Man, and it all of it's just so good. The god of used books. At first I thought it was just a shitty kid.
That kid is also Atomic Galaxy reference. It's not the same character as Atomic Galaxy, but he's intentionally made to look like the character Ozu from that show. Who's great. Ozu's great. I love him so much.
Like that, how much could you get set up harder than to have your pants off, kid runs into your crotch with ice cream, and being like, he said he'd beat me up if I didn't.
Yeah. Okay, no, that in the defensive I watched, he said he was gonna touch me, and I was like, that's so much worse. like they PG'd it up for this version, because it's so much worse. I would say of that part, I really love the scene where that little kid's talking about how all books are connected, and I was
Yeah.
like kind of following it because I'm kind of familiar with some of the people he was talking about. So like, there's like the they were talking about how that one guy committed suicide by drowning himself in his bathtub, and then how
Mhm.
Osamu Dazai was like, yeah, that sucks really bad, and then he wrote a book about it, and then Osamu Dazai did the same thing, killed himself by drowning himself in a bathtub, and it's like, what the fuck? So I actually knew about that from a friend, not a friend, but someone I know on Discord.
Mhm.
He's the guy that's doing his PhD thesis on flip flappers and talking about,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that guy. And his whole deal about that is that the show is heavily inspired by a couple of Osamu Dazai's books and references them directly sometimes. He's talking about like the references and stuff that it makes to like his work and his life and shit like that. Um, so I learned about it through that guy's presentation that he gave once on Discord for a thing.
I really like that. That man's my hero.
Yeah. I
Writing your
think
thesis on flip flappers.
his fucking like shorter version of it might still be up on our anime. I think it's like Drowning in Love with Flip Flappers, I think is what it's called. Look it up, it's cool.
I need to commit to my rewatch of it. I think I got 3 episodes in before I started watching something else. And I didn't have a strong desire, like not strong desire, but like I didn't have like the urge to like burn through it right there because I had already seen it and remembered it pretty well. And there was other things that were new I wanted to watch, but I do need to go back and finish my rewatch of Flip Flappers.
Yeah, man, I liked it a lot on rewatch. I watched it with a friend of mine to watch it again. And
like I still, constantly moving away from Walk On Girl, but the part that always gets me down.
Cast.
Yeah, anime cast.
Non
like if you guys,
anime cast.
I would love to do that one day.
Yeah,
like just make the whole podcast just going on about anime, but we couldn't have
the hugest tangents.
Couldn't have George or James on here. But yeah, the thing that gets
knows about anime. Don't.
Huh?
As if James knows about anime. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, no, he has a knowledge of some stuff, but even then that shit's limited, and he forgets.
He knows about memes.
Yeah, oh god, I hate that. I do like how in Giga videos, the newest one about like the just general types of anime fans, there's the memer who's like doesn't really watch shows, but says he watches them because he's absorbed enough memes about it. Like it's straight up he described James.
Yeah, well there's the bit in that where he talks about like I forget what his thing was, but the guy who cares about staff. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I watched that trying to see where I was. I was like, yeah, it's not the elitist. It was something in connection to the elitist.
Well, yeah, because he talks about the offshoot of the elitist, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like that bit where he's like, watching shows isn't nearly as important as knowing the shit about the staff that makes the shows.
Knowing the janitor who worked on the day that this was made.
But they will lose their shit whenever an impact frame happens. I'm like, oh no. It's too close to home for me.
For the thing I was mentioning about Flip Flappers, the thing, I'm not sure what your favorite like episode or pairing of episodes was, but mine is always when you get to that girl and her grandma.
Yes, that's the best episode in the show. It's so fucking good.
My heart.
It's so good. Yeah, that's my favorite episode as well. I remember I told my friend after we saw it that I really feel like that episode, if you just kind of like remove the very first scene and change it a little bit, you could package it up and make it like a short film.
Yeah,
people would watch it and it would be great. Yeah, that episode's fantastic.
Before we do any more tangents, do we have anything else left on Walk On Girl? Because I'll keep going if you still have stuff. But
notice that the soundtrack was done by the same person that did the one for Little Witch Academia?
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
There were certain points where I was like, is Little Witch Academia here? And like it kept coming back, and I was like, yep. If it has to be done by someone like either like it has to be done by the same person. I should just say. Yeah. Because there's no way it wasn't this.
It's really good. The music in the movie is really good. I liked it a lot, especially the main theme. Like during the opening credit sequence, that song is just so like fits the tone of the movie perfectly. Also, credit sequence. You got Asian Kung Fu Generation doing the thing again. It's godlike. That song was great. They did the OP for Son of the Galaxy as well. So I was very happy that they brought him back. I love Asian Kung Fu Generation. Yeah, so that's a good ass band.
That scene at like fairly early in where like she's like, oh, 200 yen drinks, just give me shit. And there's the montage of him just pouring out a bunch of different drinks. They were like all very beautiful. Did that make you want to drink right then?
Yeah, I was thinking if I didn't run into so much traffic on the way to the movies, I was really contemplating getting a drink before I went to see the movie, because I felt like it was doing the movie a disservice to not get drunk while I was watching it. Because the movie's also like, yeah, alcohol's the shit. Get fucking drunk.
Well, that's the first half hour of it.
The first half hour of it, yeah. Yeah, she just fucking loves to drink.
And she's a champ about it, even after the end when the old man's like, no one can beat me. And then he's done, he's like, I don't feel good, you win. And she's still ready to just keep going.
And she's still going, yeah. She never once even appears drunk.
Nope.
She just loves to drink alcohol.
Like, this is for friends. He's like, this is for nightmares. Like, oh man. Like...
Yeah. That scene's great, by the way. I love the bit where he drinks it and it shows like the cross section of her body, and it hits her stomach and just turns into butterflies.
Yeah, she's just loving it. She's having a good time. I really liked the scene where like she was actually super kind to him at the end, and he turns into a regular sweet-looking old man.
Yeah, that was good. Because he lived a hard life, so.
Yeah, he did. Just bad times. Got his clothes stolen. All this shit happened. He was like, I need money.
Got his clothes stolen.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Like, I really want this to come out fairly soon on in
Yeah,
US.
I want to buy it on Blu-ray, like desperately. Like it's also a thing where I don't actually own any Yuasa. I've been meaning to. I should pick up Ping Pong probably.
I was about to say, you don't own that.
It's
super cheap. On Funimation, I think it's $22.
Damn, that's fucking nothing.
The only thing gave me reservations. Maybe it's not Funimation. Maybe it's on Amazon. But I do remember it being like $10 cheaper on one of the two, because like there's a big like save thing like covering a bunch of the art on the front. I'm like, that makes me not want it. No, now I remember. It was on Amazon. On Amazon, if you type in Ping Pong, you'll find it $10 cheaper, because it has like all this nonsense on the front about save. It's a cheaper version because it's a reprint. Mm-hmm. And the most helpful tip I have ever seen on anything ever is like, just the only review on it, or one of the only reviews or tips or frequently asked questions was like, yeah, I almost didn't buy this because of the huge save. If that's a concern for y'all, don't worry. There's reversible art that's just the regular art, so it's cheaper. Buy this instead.
Wait, so what's the deal? Is that the people didn't like the cover or something?
Yeah, so if you look at the cheaper version, there is a giant brick of like where part of the cover would be that just says "Save Cheaper Edition" or whatnot, like all the stuff, because it's a reprint.
That's fucking.
And it actually looks obnoxious. And
so
I before I saw that like comment
version of the Game of the Year edition Arkham Knight box.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Worse actually.
No, that's really bad. That cover, dude. I don't know if you.
Bro.
It's really bad.
But yeah, so if you buy it off of Amazon and buy like the Save edition, yeah, it'll be a lot cheaper. But yeah, you have anything else, or because
no, I mean,
if you have anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is obnoxious. I just looked at it. Yeah, it's on the spine of the series, right?
It's on the spine and on the front.
Damn, that's pretty bad. Yeah, like it bleeds onto the front from the spine. Yeah, it looks really bad. But it is reversible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Like, because that's what I bought. At first, I wasn't gonna buy. I was like, I'll spend the extra $10 to not deal with that.
It's actually cheaper new on Amazon.
Yep.
It's $22 used and $20 new. That's pretty fucking good. I'll just buy it right now on the podcast. Let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, buy good movies on podcast. or shows, I should say.
Paprika is $10.
I bought that at the same time because I saw how cheap it was. Mainly because, like, for Paprika, like, I saw it when I was, like, younger. Not like super young, but I saw it when I was younger. And I was like, boy, that looked really interesting, but boy, did I not get a lot of that. So I remember enjoying it, so that's why I spent the money, but I really just wanted to watch it again so I could understand what was happening.
Paprika is the only Satoshi Kon movie I haven't seen. And it's just because when I was watching anime shit when I was a wee lad, I could never find a website that had a good stream of it when I wanted to like watch it streaming. It was always in like fucking 240p, or like they had a horrible like 1 to 2 second sound delay. I was like, I just never wanted to settle. I wanted to watch it, and like, you know, I wanted to watch it and I have to be fucking distracted by the horrible bullshit. And then whenever I was started torrenting shit, I never could find one that had seeds. So I just have never seen it.
I saw it on like just some website. I don't even remember why I saw it, because like it's not like there's anything specific about it that drew me to it. I think I was just watching anime movies. Like I had just what did I watch around that era? I don't even know if I watched like specific stuff around that era, but I know like I was like, hey, let me look up best anime movies or whatnot, like one of those generic lists, and just saw the stuff that people kept talking about. I was like, let me watch this. Like, that's how I found out about Sword of the Stranger and watched that.
Yeah, same. Probably.
Because it was just like, oh, like one of my friends was like, here, you can just have someone just gave me their collection of like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and like forever ago. And I remember them mentioning here, Sword of the Stranger, and I was like, okay. And I had it, and I didn't pay attention to it. And then I saw stuff online about like how greatest sword fight in all of anime in this. I'm like, what? That's bold. I have that. Let me check it out. And I was like, boy, I wish the story was better, because this could be a 10 on 10.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Soul Stranger as well.
It's like, it's beautifully animated. Even that fucking fight against like the no-name guy on the villain's crew
with the fucking Toriyama.
Yeah, like that looks fantastic.
Or like
for no reason.
The opening sequence where the Chinese guy or the whatever, the blonde guy.
Yeah, he's Chinese, and against the whole crew of Japanese people with bows and arrows, Chinese, and the bandits.
It's implied that he's like an American or British guy or some shit.
Is it implied? Because outside of his blonde hair, I don't remember them talking about it.
They mentioned that he's a foreigner. I think the Chinese people. I think even the Chinese people call him a foreigner. In the movie.
I mean, it would make sense. That I don't know why he'd be blonde otherwise with blue eyes, but I remember him being called foreigner, but I don't remember him being called that by the Chinese. Either way, that I wouldn't deny it, because
I think it's implied he was like a mercenary or something that was from like the UK or some shit, but I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, so I could be pulling that completely out of my ass.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna fight you on that.
The first scene of the movie where he fights like all those dudes like on the horses and it's raining looks fucking amazing.
Like the whole
all the fight scenes in the movie look incredible.
Fucking him grabbing the guy who'd been shot and running forward and just taking all the arrows through him and like just spinning around doing his nonsense, all good.
Yeah, it's just it makes me feel good inside. Really, it's just fucking Yutaka Nakamura. It's him. He did it. He did those scenes. That's why they look good. Because it's him.
Now, was he always with Bones? Like he started off there, or did he eventually go to Bones?
I think he was with Sunrise before that, and then Sunrise became Bones. Because Sunrise still exists, but it was like that time when a bunch of studios collapsed and people made their own bullshit. So like Bones came from Sunrise, and like Madhouse was around at that time.
Yeah, Madhouse has been around for a hot minute.
Like Hyper Sakura. Fucking, I don't know. Bones is the one that came from Sunrise. I know about that. And then Gainax like became smaller.
Trigger.
Well, yeah, but that was way later. Like that, like Gainax is like the last of those studios to collapse.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about who had people split from them. I didn't know you meant like a specific time period.
Yeah, it's like a specific time period where like the anime studios became too big to support their bullshits, and so a lot of them just had to downsize and they lost a bunch of staff. So I think like that was like when KyoAni popped up was around that time, and that was like when like it was like production IG became smaller, and so did Sunrise. You know, that's where Bones came from, and then the other big one was what? I forget. I don't really care that much.
I don't know. There's a lot. The reason I asked about him though is like you mentioned before, their animation team is fucking stacked. So I didn't know if they just kept like paying people like, hey, here, come over here and work for us now, or if they just rolled the dice and got lucky with their stats at the beginning. Oh
yeah, well I think he worked in the anime industry for a while, and I think he settled in at Sunrise eventually. I think he's worked on some 80s OVAs. I know he did like Tekkaman Blade, like the OVA from the 80s or whatever, some shit like that. Yeah, he eventually ended up at Sunrise and did a lot of work on like Cowboy Bebop, right? He animated a bunch of fight scenes in that and that kind of shit. And then yeah, so when Bones happened, like they grabbed him because that was people he worked with. So he did like stuff on like Full Metal Alchemist and
they grabbed
shit
him.
Like that. Well, I mean, fuck, dude, that guy's so fucking talented.
Like, all right, just because I guess it's the anime everything cast. When you mentioned Cowboy Bebop, do you have a favorite episode?
Ballad of Fallen Angels, episode 5.
Not a bad episode.
Yeah,
not a bad one at all. There's very few episodes you could actually have said that would have made me question you as a human being.
Boogie Woogie Feng Shui.
Like, what the fuck is? I'm actually looking up the names of the episodes because I don't want to say the wrong one.
Boogie Woogie Feng Shui
the
is
one
the only one I don't
with
like.
the I always forget. I can't say it because it's a fucking French name. I know you know the episode I'm talking about, where Spike just happened to be walking down the street.
Oh, Pierrot Lafleur?
Yeah, and he just happened to see this guy, and he's like, on site, Tom and Jerry, we're doing this right now. Like that is my actual favorite episode.
That is also, I don't know if it's intentional because the movie doesn't remind me of this episode at all, but that's also a film by Jean, is it? Fuck, not my brain's telling me, but I think Pierrot Lafleur is a Jean-Luc Godard film, but it might be
Shut up, are you serious?
It might be Truffaut, but I'm pretty sure it's Jean-Luc Godard. I hope I'm not an idiot. Yes, it is Godard. Good.
What's the plot?
It's like this married couple like go on like a road trip kind of. Yeah, it's like they're at like a party and they kind of like run away or some shit. I haven't seen it in forever, and I don't think I understood it when I saw it. I saw it when I was in high school. But yeah, it's kind of like they kind of have a falling out essentially. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of this married couple, and the wife is called Pierrot, which means the sad clown. The movie is called Pierrot Lafleur, which means French means Pierrot the Madman, so it just makes sense.
Okay, so I get that title, but I thought you were gonna say it would have something to do with the assassin, like an assassin.
Oh no,
that seems to only share name because it seems very different.
There's like gangsters involved in the movie. Yeah. Like the woman is being hunted down by like gangsters, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's why I said I don't know if it's even intentional, because they're so different in the plot.
Okay, yeah. But when you were saying that, I was like, that's why I said shut up. I was like, tell me that someone just stumbles upon a madman with a gimmick, like it becomes like an actual. Like I love that episode so fucking much. And I think the line I'll never forget was when it wasn't Spike, it was Jet, or no, it wasn't Jet, it was Spike. Spike talking about like the thing with him and like how he has the mind of a child and children are cruel is such a good line. Yeah.
Well, I think my favorite thing in that episode is the bit where it shows his like how he became like he is with the experimentation. I swear that scene is directed is so cool. And then, because I'm a huge nerd, the scene that's playing is a remix of the song "On the Run" by Pink Floyd. Which is fucking it's such a good reference. It's stellar as fuck. I love it.
Holy shit! I'm look. We should probably end here because it's been. I can keep going talking about anime stuff that I like.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 2.5 hours, if not slightly more.
Yeah. You're probably right.
All right, so everyone, thank you for listening to this installation of the DADCast. If you have any fan questions and would like to ask us about anything or just have any comments in general, please email us at officialdadcast@gmail.com, and your email will presumably be read off in the air. As long as your name isn't James, send an email to us. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, send your emails in, they'll be read off. Subscribe to our channel at just DADcast at YouTube, and James should just have a pre-roll for anything else I might have missed. We're on iTunes if you want to look us up. You have anything, closing statements, Skylar?
No. Stay frosty, everyone. Yep. I don't know why I went with that. I actually, now that I think about it, that's what Arcada from Glass Refraction says. Don't watch the channel.
Really?
That's a bad channel. Don't watch that one.
Is he bad? I've seen him on the weekly Weebcast when that was actually weekly and before it was the biannual Weebcast.
Yeah, I don't like him
because do more.
His reviews are not like that. His videos aren't interesting because they're just reviews in the sense where it's just like standard like mal format review, where it's whatever. But then he also has this really weird tendency to just completely change his opinion of shows based on the public. Like he doesn't review shows until like months after they're done, and it feels like he just reiterates what the public consensus of the show is already. So he was on the podcast that shat on Hoseki no Kuni's first episode. Mm-hmm. And then he put up a review after that point where she says some shit about how the show looks that directly contradicts what he says in that podcast. Like, if the show looked so amazing, then why did you not notice that immediately in the first episode, which looked amazing? Mm-hmm. Why are you only now saying that it looks good when you literally said it looked like worse than Ruby on the podcast? This makes no sense.
I would honestly believe that was because just like Mother's Basement owned up to it, but the amount of backlash they got from that is what I believe would make him change his opinion that drastically.
Oh, I mean, sure, I get why he changed his opinion because people, the community loved that show, so it makes sense he'd do it. But it's like it's so obvious that it's not his opinion, or that's not as ingenuous as maybe you'd want it to be. Because like, bruh, like there's fucking audio evidence of you not having this opinion when the show first started. I don't know. The show didn't get better looking as it went on, really. Like there were like visually impressive scenes that happened later in the show, like when Daya fights the big monster. That seems impressive, but it wasn't like the animation quality jumped or anything after episode 1. It looked good. So.
It did.
Anyway,
how did we get to that? We were closing out. How did we get to that?
I wanted to reference Call of Duty. That was what I wanted. Then I actually.
Oh yeah, you're saying stay frosty, and then it just spun into that. Yeah, okay. All right, stay frosty, kids. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you next time.